Hello, hello. Hey, Andrew. So it is Wednesday morning, and this afternoon we're going to go back to Skeleseller for a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, here. So let's put the Skeleseller work down here. Okay, let's go make today command. Hey, Cuttlefish. So Adam is going to keep working on the localization foundation for Stuck in a Broken tutorial. This afternoon, he'll be incorporating the new Japanese translation into Skeleseller, though. Blast from the past. The main task is getting everything to work with non-English identifiers, with like I guess arbitrary identifiers for each string to be translated, as opposed to using English source for IDs. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty good. So yeah, you can see a bunch of changes here on the right side from when I was doing Skeleseller stuff yesterday. The Japanese translation is now finished. We need to change fonts around in the game. We need to do a bunch of stuff. So I did not finish any of this work. I just started it. I feel like I put in yesterday, I did a half day of streaming and then maybe like a quarter day of just like sort of Stuck in a Broken tutorial work, and then a quarter day of Skeleseller stuff. So it turned out to be a full day, but I feel a little bit weird about it. And I have to personally remind myself every single time, like, I really should never feel guilty about work amount. It's not like I'm taking 3 months off and I'm like, well, I could work, but I don't want to or something. It's like, oh, I need a couple hours to recharge. I don't think that's bad. I also wanted to not fall into the trap of just filling all my free time with Stuck in a Broken tutorial work. I think part of it would be gratifying and fun, but I think it kind of violates the sustainability of my overall endeavor. But who knows? Maybe I don't know. This stuff comes and goes in phases. Like there'll be a cycle where I'm very work heavy, and then cycles where I'm like time to play video games or time to whatever exercise or something. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff left to do. So today is day 3 of 10 of stabilization. Tomorrow will be day 4 of 10. Thursday 4. Yeah, let's get to work. I don't remember where we left off. I think we need to review everything I've done here. There's quite a lot going on with this. So test it out with the workflows that I'll have. Can we have a French translation, update the source, and see what happens when we run the converter again? Maybe I should start to make the new GitHub repo for this. I probably should. We're going to need it eventually. Yeah. It could be a temporary GitHub repo while I figure everything out. And I could write instructions on this. Maybe have it be a temporary repo while I figure everything out. And then I could write instructions on the whole process for the next game. Do I want this? We still have some questions we need to answer, and I think it's gonna be hard to answer this without having a GitHub repo. You need instructions to mention that you have to manually update localizations through Godot. You need Weblate to make the basic French file. I don't know if we need that. Hey, Chili. Stuck with a working translation. Yeah. Yep. It was weird going back to Skeleseller. Like, it's been, what, 2 months or something? And I've already forgotten a lot of how everything works. It just felt so strange. Yeah, I forgot. Do you have some text input macros, or how are you typing so fast? Yeah, I use a Spanso. So when you see me type the word everything, it's just 2 characters, or each other, or technology, infrastructure, organization. Like, all these things are things I type frequently enough where I think it's worthwhile to have text expansions for them. Hmm. It's part about Weblate making a translation file. Let's go take a quick look. If I wanted to add another language, how do I do this? Just click the plus button here. All right, I want to test this on my local instance. Localhost 80. I want to click plus and whoop. Oh my God. I never mean to do that. Oh well, this is a test thing. So just click German here and see what happens. Yeah, so I think it just made a blank file. That's my guess. Now let's download all the files and find out what it did. Monolingual. Yeah, there it is. Depot. Oh wow, it doesn't have pluralization rules here. That's strange. And Zilla. A lot of hotkeys to remember. It's not too bad because a lot of times it's just what I would type of the word. So like everything is so common that it's just V. And I don't know. There are a lot of other common ones that I use. Arrows and symbols and stuff. Those are all pretty obvious though. Like all the emojis are kind of just what you'd expect them to be. Like puke. This did not do what I thought it would do. TBX. Strange. Yeah, very strange. Okay, well, that's the first question to answer then. Why does producing a German like template not put in plural rules? How did I get those for Skeleseller? Hey, business, what's on the agenda? I try to always keep the today command up to date. So feel free to either type that every stream or just go to the today command here on the website. But yeah, this is almost always what the plan is. You asked me to call one from brain memory, I would freeze. Yeah, muscle memory sometimes keeps that at the forefront. Yeah. What did create this? Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this got to be for Skeleseller. Like if we search for scripts DEDE, we have this at the top. What made this? Probably Weblate, or else Weblate wouldn't be here. Because I want this stuff. I want plural forms. Well, I pretty much just want plural forms. Maybe I have to make a change to German in here. I'm asking, wait, you just typed, oh, how's the organization? Yeah, a lot of people, if they're not tech, aren't going to probably watch exactly how I'm typing stuff. Save. Okay, let's try downloading this now. Oh, wait a second. Download original translation files as zip. Oh, the original doesn't have this, I guess. I'm still not totally sure, but I don't think this got anything new in it. Oh, no, it did. Oh, look at that. Okay, nice. So yeah, as long as Weblate, I probably don't even need to make this through Weblate. In fact, we should try this out now. So I should go make a new, how do I do this? I have to make a new entire project, right? Okay, so once you modify a string on Weblate, it'll add that metadata to the PO file. Creating the language on Weblate isn't enough. Okay, so this is important. And now we just need to figure out what happens if you import files that don't have the metadata. And probably it's the same thing, that's my guess. But we should really validate that. You couldn't access your money. Oh, man. At my bank, they have a sheet of paper with numbers written on it like this. Although I think ATMs do this backwards. And they're like, when you're coming up with a pin for yourself, like here's the positioning of the numbers. But yeah, I think an ATM numpad is reversed. Yeah, it goes from top to bottom. So they also have a picture of that. And that way you can like just kind of poke at the paper and figure out what you want your pin to be. It's kind of funny. So yeah, randomizing this probably messes everybody up. I wonder how many people would not be able to access their money that way. In fact, actually, yeah, that ATM has probably gotten complaints or something, right? Hey, BG King, how goes it? All right, well, I guess we need to make a new project for this to work, or maybe a new component. Yeah, a new component should be fine. How do you make a new component? Plus, new component. Okay, easy. So we're gonna say test no metadata, and then I'm gonna delete the metadata from here. Oh wait, oh, it's yeah. Okay, here it is. So this is what I want. We got to pull it from this one, right? Yes, 131 bytes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff is not super easy to do. So I want to upload translation files. It needs to be a zip. We have the zip right here. Copy and paste. Good. All right, this is probably fine. Continue. Supplied configuration is incorrect. Component or category with, oh, I don't care about this. Test, no metadata. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Please select the file. I deleted the file. Poor UX. All right, specify configuration manually. Looks good. There's gonna be a couple things we need to pick here. I gotta figure this out. File format. We go find monolingual. I never know where this is. It's like, what, halfway down the list? Yeah, it's about halfway down the list. It's not alphabetized. So that's why this is so hard to find. And there's no scroll bar, so I can't look at the position there. So wait, I could just slam it down to the bottom and then look at about halfway in the screen. Yeah, because I'm probably going to do this another like couple times. Then I got to figure out the base file. Yeah, and I took a screenshot of this. What is this supposed to be? Just en.po? Do I even have that? It's in monolingual. That might have made things harder. enpo. File mask monolingual / star.po. Oh boy. All right, let's hit save. I didn't think that would work. Nothing's ever easy, is it? No, nothing's ever easy. Wait, this one doesn't exist. How's that possible? It's right there. Maybe it was enus? No, it can't be enus. File does not exist is the problem. What did I type something wrong? Monolingual / en.po. Okay, I don't think I typed something wrong. Strange. Missing the parent folder? Maybe that's the case, yeah. I don't remember doing that over here. All I possibly did. Localization, yarn, archive. Okay, so if I open up archive, what do we have? No, I never had to specify the archive folder. I just specified en.po. That should be fine. It'd be nice if they could just show you a directory. Like, there's so many ways that the UX of this could improve, but they probably don't care for setting up a project. Hey, David, good morning. Like, if I could just see what's in here, I'd know what it thinks. All right, let's copy this just in case. Just in case I mess something up. I'm gonna put this like this. It probably doesn't change anything. I hit save, it doesn't work. Okay, let's try with the other folder name. I don't think this would work either. That did work. Why was that needed here, but it wasn't needed for archive? I don't understand that. And it didn't work anyway. It didn't work because it didn't have the right files. I gotta go do this again, but this time with the root folder name. Ugh. Add new project. No, not add new project. Add new component. I guess we go into here, component, upload, click this one. So we call this like testeroni 2 or like no metadata 2. Okay, well, this is why I was saying we need to memorize this. Just scroll all the way to the bottom, and then there it is. That did help. Okay, so file mask, this / star, no, / monolingual / star.po. this slash monolingual slash en.po. All right, this should work now. Let's try it. Yeah. All right, so here is our German part of this. Let's go download everything as a zip file. This is just for testing whether metadata gets injected at creation or after editing. And we'll tell by the size of the file. Yeah, 131 bytes means it's not in there. So there's going to be 2 lines, right? Yep, 2 lines. But if we go modify a string, where's the translate button? There it is. So testeroni, save. Now go download everything. And now we'll have a bunch of metadata in here, right? Yes, 475 bytes. Okay, cool. Oh, man. Hey, TJ. You claimed first underneath the noses of everyone already here. All right, I don't want this web late note to get out of control, and it's already pretty long. You, maybe this goes into setup notes. Adding new languages on WebLate. It doesn't really matter how you add a new language. Like, I guess suppose you have a project that uses English as the source and only has a French translation, and you now want a German one. The easiest way, well, you can set this up either through WebLate by clicking the plus next to languages. Well, I should probably include the URL. Yeah, there. Screenshot below. Or by like having, could it be blank? It might be able to be blank. Or by creating the file by hand and adding it to the Git, the repo backing WebLate. Does that work? Yeah, okay, good. So either way, the important part of the file is the metadata about the language at the beginning. So something like this, e.g. this for German. And how do you syntax highlight this? Yeah, sometimes I just write C so that it's got some colors there. That looks good. We're all stuck in a Twitch stream. Look at the typing pattern. If I had middleware that auto-corrected to the nearest word, it would allow me to type gibberish and still get the right word. Yeah, it's very tricky because sometimes you are typing code and what looks like it should be a correction is not. Like, here's an example of something that comes back to bite me every once in a while. I type apostrophe T to type technology, but words like don't, every once in a while you accidentally type like DON space, and I'm like, oh, no, go back here and do apostrophe T. And then it types out Don technology. So, yeah, that sort of thing would probably end up happening with that. Hey, KevDub. Welcome to the stream. I saw you followed after, I think, I rated Cavino? No, it was before. Never mind. I forgot the order of my dashboard. Need a button that if we hold turns off autocorrect. Yeah, it would just be like a foot pedal or something. I just summoned my cat to me. Cat familiar to me. Come on, come sit down. Good cat. Don Technologies, my 1920s Mafia Research and Development Lab. That'd be pretty good. Different ways of collecting debts, you know? Okay, sorry everyone. I got to take a 30-second pet the cat break so she settles down on my lap. Looking at split keyboards? I need one. I think they're very cool. And I don't know if you saw my video on what led me to this. I don't even think, yeah, I think that's a video where I talk about this. But if you just have a regular computer keyboard, and they have like a top-down view, yeah. So one of the things that I always thought was really, really cool when I first got into this, I had it doesn't matter what kind of keyboard. I had a keyboard that let you put custom firmware on it. And I set the semicolon key, which is where your pinky naturally rests, to be a navigation layer. So you would hold this, and then I, J, K, and L would become arrow keys. And like you would become backspace or something. I don't know. I don't remember the exact layout I used, but not having to move your hand for this section of the keyboard felt fantastic. And if you're not going to get a split keyboard or a weird tiny keyboard, just having a regular form factor keyboard that allows you to put custom layers, I think is really, really helpful. And you don't even need a special keyboard technically. You can emulate this in software. Standard keys put your hands too close together. Yeah, yeah. And whether or not that causes pain or strain or some like long-term problem that you won't even be able to detect, I think it'd be different based on each person. It's currently very, very hot on the south coast of the UK. I have a USB desk fan. It sits between the two halves. Oh man, that fan is doing overtime. Okay, this gets added when you modify a string on WebLate. In other words, regardless of how you create the underlying translation file, it will be set as soon as you edit a string and then export the translations. Okay. Hey, Cookie, what are we learning? So I've got a couple of answers to this. One is the today command, which is what we're doing today. The other is the overall project that this is for, which is stuck in a broken tutorial. And I'm happy to answer any of this other stuff that I have. A lot of these notes that I take are online at notes.adamlearns.com. This one in particular is a WebLate note. So a very short overview of what we're doing is we're making a game and we're setting up localization for that game. And more specifically, we have a dialogue tool for the game that we want to localize correctly. So I'm looking into how all of this stuff works. And I already did this for my last game, and I want to do things a little bit differently today. Do you use Vim motions? No, I don't use Vim motions. I feel like if you're in a Vim-based editor, using Vim motions is sensible because everything's set up for those Vim motions. But as soon as you're in something like VS Code or Rider, they have Vim key bindings, but like the IDE was set up as a default of not using Vim. So I just felt like it'd be harder to use if I use Vim key bindings and more to learn. And yeah. Yeah, sure thing, Cookie. And like I said, feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer. Isn't this the best time of year for you guys in UK? I think the most comfortable temperature is right around 10 degrees Celsius. Like this plus or minus like 10 degrees Fahrenheit is pretty good, 40 to 60. I think anything higher than 70 is hot. And I think there are some countries now that are just like uncomfortably hot most of the year. All right, so we've answered this. We've answered this. I don't think we needed to make the the basic French file, although we could do that. Yeah. Yeah. 40 to 50 in the summer is nuts. I haven't visited Pakistan, but I visited India a couple times, and even in December it was too hot. I just I just don't function in extreme heat. I mean, I don't think a lot of people do. Yeah. How do you set up the colored tabs? How do I get rid of the terminal icon and tabs? Terminal icon I don't know how to get rid of, but the colored tabs I did in my Adam's apple setup. So I can just share the Z shell with you. I wrote this a long time ago. Yeah, here's the file. And what you'd be looking for in here is this title. So it calls tab color based on string. That's a real function that you want, I guess. And then I have the title command run whenever I do something. So let's say I switch into stuck in a broken tutorial. I just type BT. It switches, it colors the tab. If I change the title here to something else, then yeah, it would change the color. And CCD, I think, does the same thing. Yeah, it does. So now it's Godot and it's a paler color. and the code folder is bright green. All right, so we got to set up a GitHub repo, and I'm just debating on whether we want to make a temporary one or not. I guess what we could do is make the permanent one, and if I screw up, delete it and try again. Also, if I screw up, I mean, there's nothing there. It's not like I can, it's not like, you know, a bunch of people submitted translations and I could delete them. You don't really have anything to stomp on. Using P10K as well. I believe so. It should be in the repo. Whoops. That's not what I meant to go to. Shell, Z shell. Yeah, P10K. Yeah. See what happens when we run a converter again. Yeah, I guess we need to do this. Move classes their own files just for ease of reading. Mark strings as fuzzy if they're going to be empty. I mean, let's do this stuff. Gotta finish reading through this code. Oh man, there's a lot of work to do, and I don't think we can get this done in 3 hours. I don't want to sit on the Skeleseller stuff for a while. I guess what we could do is devote all of today to Stuck in a Broken tutorial, and then just do tomorrow for Skeleseller. It might make more sense, but I'll just play it by ear. Plus, the today command already mentions doing Skeleseller in the evening or afternoon. All right, get text compiler output from local validation runs. Godot should consume the source PO file unless... So what is messages.mo? I don't understand. Is that some message merge format? Do we even have that? Let me just close every other tab that we have here. There. That was getting a little ridiculous. So ff type mo. We don't have any mo files. Tools/**. FFI messages? There's just messages.pot. Why did it ignore these? It was talking about deleting these or something? Get text compiler output from local validation runs. Should consume the source PO files unless we intentionally add compiled catalogs later. I don't know what even creates this. I mean, I know it's talking about get text mo file. What is this? Format of generated mo file is best described by a picture which appears below. All right, and what produces this? Producing binary mo files, message format, message unformat. What's this? Binary message catalog from a textual translation description. I don't know about this. I think I'm going to delete this. I mean, it's not like we have mo files. Nothing just appeared here, right? Yeah. All right. Well, let's go save that somewhere else, I guess, in case I need that. I'll just save it in temp for now. Mo nonsense. Mo problems. Okay. All right, let's keep reading through this. So we added line IDs. I don't like this. I do have message.mo. I didn't see that. Oh, message.mo. Oh, I do have this. Why did this not find this? Did it just create it? Or, oh, you know what? I think I know what happened. Yeah, I think I know what happened. I think I have some awareness of git ignore. So if I do edit Z shell here, FFI, how does this work? Through FD, is this aware of git ignore? FD, this ignores anything in git ignore. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm gonna give you a point for that, Cookie. Is the function thing we can call by just typing the function name in iterm? Yeah, yeah. As long as you've sourced your shell script that has that in there. So as an example, where is it? Based on color? Yeah, tab color based on string. So if we go find this, you can ignore the push log setting and turn log off. That doesn't really matter. And you don't necessarily need to hash the string. But the rest of this stuff, the important part is this. There is a proprietary color code that you can use and just echo. This is an iTerm specific thing. So if you tried this in Ghosty, it almost certainly wouldn't work unless Ghosty copied all of iTerm's proprietary codes. Okay, so it turns out we do need this. So let's go back to our git ignore and let's put this back in. Okay, great. Now what? So I didn't change any text in here, hopefully. Well, other than this line. So I don't want to check this in at all. And eventually I want there to be regular line IDs so you can tell what's what. But even that, I'm kind of unsure of. What do we want to use for line tags in Yarn Spinner? Like, do we really want to tag every single line with a CSS style description? Like tutorial man greeting? It may not be generic enough. It may also not be needed at all if you can see the English. Yeah, maybe we do want to just use randomized lines. And then we could customize them if there was something common, like a character saying yes, or I don't know, like go to town or something like that. If this showed up a bunch of times, rather than having a different line ID for all of these, you know, like line colon whatever 1 2 3 4 5, we could just set them all to the exact same one, and then it would only appear once in the translation file, and that's fine as long as there's exactly the same context. Hey, Pickle. Good morning. Yeah. I think it makes more sense to use the automatically generated IDs since it should show up fine in Weblate. Now, I've got way too many things going on here in Weblate, so I don't know how easy this is going to be to find. But if we go to this and then German and then translate. No, 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 no. That's all right. I don't know where it is. We had French somewhere. What happened to French? This isn't right. There are no words in here. Maybe I deleted it? Or maybe I put it somewhere else? Do I have another project here? No. What? I could have sworn. Where did I take this picture? I know I did this because I have proof of it. Okay, well, there are only 4 components. Let's just open all of them up. No, it can't be the metadata stuff. I did that this morning, so it has to be this one. But this only has a single string. Yeah. And I guess in German, we see that as the foundation. German, translate. Yeah, it says scratch. Source string needs review. Is it because it's marked fuzzy? Why is this showing up? Why is that showing up? How do we get to the English? Ah, yes, it is marked fuzzy. So if I save and continue, and then we go back to German, here, and then click translate. Yep, okay. I think we're good. Yeah, so I think we can use these random IDs. We should validate that. This is so tricky. It's just so tricky. So like make sure line IDs aren't like really surfaced in Weblate for Yarn Spinner dialog. It's okay if they show up, but the English translation, well, it's not a translation. The English text should show up even for other languages like German. Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. What a day this is going to be. So then I guess we can keep these random line IDs, and I should just revert this to be this. And, well, the line ID doesn't exist. All right, let's just revert the whole thing. Delete. Goodbye. All right, now we can just regenerate that. So we go find this and click add line tags, and we're done. And now we should have different line IDs for all of these. Wait a second, it added in line fake greeting. So it knows that I have these in my CSV file? That's kind of clever. So it pulled all the same line IDs from there. Interesting. So if I go into, I don't know where this is. If I go into localization yarn, no, it's not there. It's here, yarn.csv. This, if I change this to testeroni, and then I go into Godot and click that, well, it didn't get modified, but maybe if I delete it, it gets modified. No, something's doing this. I don't know what it is. You can be calling an LLM to generate the translation. Just curious why you're not doing that. It wasn't perfect when I tried for Skeleseller, the last game I made. And the way I looked at it was, I think it's worth involving humans in the process. Some of this text could probably be better done by an LLM, but a lot of the translations we had in Skeleseller would just be like individual words like fireball or quick shot or something like that. And it's like, well, is it quick shot with a bow or is it with a gun? That might be different in different languages. Is it with something else? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's like throwing a dagger and it's called quick shot. So yeah, we just gave it to humans to translate. How would I use CCD to navigate to a volume? A lot of times what I do in my Z shell is I have a function like this where first I'll change to a volume and then call CCD. So as an example, if I just type code, it goes to volumes inland code. This is my external SSD, and then it goes to code folder. And that way I can do something like code Godot stuck to go to this directory. So I found the root code. That's what the first bit did. Then it matched Godot. Then the ST match stuck in a broken tutorial. And then from here I could go to like game, assets, whatever else. Yeah. So this is kind of nice. I mean, other people use different ways of navigating directly to folders. This works for me. I like it. All right, I'm not still totally sure how this part works here. We have something that was getting fake greeting here. Oh, you know what we could do? We could just revert the whole file, right? So there we go. Now we go open that up again. So no line numbers show up here. Then we click this button. Oh, it added the random ID now. Man. This is confusing. I wonder if it needs a match across all translations. Like if I go revert this again, and then I click the button again, does it say fake greeting? No, it doesn't. I don't know how that happened then originally. Maybe I messed something up. But yeah, this is as good as anything else. I don't care what these IDs are. I don't like that typo in Word. Oh God. I want this to detect typos, but I don't want. Maybe I just want to turn this off inside yarn files. But this is going to get super annoying super fast. So let's just take a picture of this and write this down for later. Either turn off spell checking, or either turn off the error lens equivalent, or it's pretty much got to be that, or figure out how to disable it inside of like line colon tags, which is probably too hard to be worthwhile. All right, so we added line IDs. I should probably do all this in a different branch. Have we already done anything in this branch? Get log -1. Prevent the clear color from showing. No, we haven't. So I should probably just push that. Yeah. I should probably switch to a different branch before I mess all this stuff up. Get checkout -b localization foundation. All right, then because I am very haphazard in my branch usage, I'm going to write down branch management, merge this, and then switch back to main. Okay. Localization 7. Yeah, ABC. That's kind of what I was doing for Skeleton. All right, so that all looks good. This isn't needed. This is just for testing that the translation is good in the game through Yarn Spinner. We'll probably come back to this at some point, so let's just cut this out for now. I want to actually check in some of these. The other way we could have done it is I'll just do this too. Whatever, fine. All right, index layout. So tools are now manifested. That's fine. That's good. Yep. Test translation. We don't need this. Yarn project. Got some localized files. These should move. And the base language is identifiers, which is not a real language. All right. So let me think about this because this is a little bit difficult. We need anything that's here to eventually make it to a Git submodule. But this is an intermediate file. It's only generated by Godot. So technically, this doesn't need to make it to the Git submodule. Where do we put the CSV files? So they're technically not needed by translators since we convert them to .po files for Weblate first. Yeah, so they don't belong in the submodule. So we should, as a result, they don't belong in the submodule. I don't want to confuse Weblate or Weblate users. So what we did for Skeleseller is we had a submodule here, and then we just had two files for each language. So if I do lsdde, it is scenes and scripts. So scenes were everything from the Godot side of things that we did in the editor, and scripts are everything from the script side of things. And now we're going to have scenes, script, and yarn spinner dialogue. So yes, this is probably the same structure we should use. Just need to figure out where we put the CSV files in the interim, which this shouldn't really matter too much, I guess. Let's go. We have game, we have tools. I think it has to be through games. Yeah, it has to be in game because it's a res path, right? And res can only work with, where'd that go? Yeah, res can only work from inside game. Okay, well, that makes it easy. So then where should it go? Assets? Probably not. I mean, we could put something in here like localization. It's not really an asset though, is it? It's more like a resource. Although I think we have a resource folder in here. Somewhere we do resources. Here it is. Oh, hey, yarn. Oh, look at that. Well, let's put it in the yarn folder. That question just answered itself. So we gotta relocate these. I should probably move them first, huh? I guess it doesn't really matter. Actually, why would I even type this in? No, I should type it in so that it updates in the editor without me needing to reload the project. Something that's annoying about this is every time you close this and you click browse again, it opens it at this size. I wonder if they have some hard-coded size in the window somehow. All right, so what did I just say this should go into? Resources, yarn, and maybe we make a new folder here called like CSVs. Do I capitalize things like that? Yeah, I guess I do. I don't really have any other examples. A job for Hammerspoon? It could be. Yeah, I don't know how often I'm gonna have to deal with these particular dialogues because this is a yarn spinner problem, not a Godot problem, I think. Well, it could be caused by Godot. All right, so what did I click? I clicked English, I think. So couldn't we just call this en.csv? Do I like the idea of putting yarn at the beginning? I just have to think of if this is ever going to bite me. I'm probably never going to look at these files, so then they won't be indexed. So then, yeah, let's just call it en.csv. I think it's best. Oh, no. There's another question before this. Oh, no. Should we put in locales? ENUS versus ENGB. I don't know how many this would practically matter for a video game. Like Portuguese, for example, there's Brazilian and there's European, but like, would I even translate to European Portuguese? Probably not. Spanish might be different enough for me to care, but I didn't do it for Skeleseller. Also, what are the Spanish variants? Spain and Latin America? Spanish locales? I know there are probably a ton of them, but just what are the most common ones? ES. Yeah, Castilian Spanish. And Central American. Hey, Phil. Do you actually commission the translation or do you ask for help from your community? It was community for French, Italian, Portuguese, German, and Spanish. And it was paid for Japanese so far. And just because I couldn't find anyone to do the East Asian languages. Tried doing this in Z Shell RC and it's saying it's a read only and won't let me. So MDSZilla, I need to see the whole file, but if what you're doing here is just this equals some path, then you need to CD into that path. You can't just type this unless you have an extension set up that treats it as a path like that. So let's say I do this and I press enter, it actually will navigate me there. Oh, I created a function to the CD part. Can you paste it? I can take a look. Can barely translate English to English. Hey, Scholar. Because, yeah, it should work. I mean, you can see mine as an example, too. Where is that? Yeah, here. It's saying it's read-only and won't let me. And then can you paste the exact error message? Hey, 9. Been using Z-Oxide for that. It's amazing. Yeah, I think I'm using something similar at least. Because your function looks correct. Oh, it's the variable definition. Interesting. Huh. The only thing I can think is that it was already defined somewhere else. And the way you'd figure that out is by doing type and then type work SSD, I guess. Would that even work over here? Like if I do, I guess it has to be exported. So LS colors, type. No, never mind. You can't do that. Well, I would do echo work SSD and see if it is set to anything. Because it is strange you have a read-only variable. Read-only variable. I didn't even know that was possible. Declare -r. Echo comes out empty. And one thing I think is that there's some like by default declaration thing that you're doing somehow. Yeah, what ABC typed might be worthwhile to try. Yeah, sorry I can't be more helpful. I haven't seen that before. All right, yeah, so should we use locales? Probably. I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Question is, how would this work? Like, yeah, I don't know. Locale code. I think, let's just click the X here and click add, FR, add, and then browse to, oh, nice. You can maximize that at least. That's pretty good. All right, what did I say? Resources, yarn, CSVs, and we call this FR. For real, for real. And I guess get rid of that one and go add in ENUS. Add, browse, resources, yarn, CSVs, ENUS. Okay, hopefully I set that up correctly because yeah, I did. And then we can delete everything else that I've done. There's also yarn.csv. I don't know what that is. Hmm. Yeah, what creates that? Remember asking if you'd ever get a publisher to do it instead, and you remember what you said? That I'd probably consider it after the next game. Because I think that's what I was saying at the beginning of this project, at least. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming dealing with a publisher is its own entire like set of problems and benefits. Hey, Bush arrows. Delete everything scary. Well, let's see, because I am going to delete everything. All right, this stuff shouldn't be here. But now, what if I had to export? What does this do? Oh, you get to pick. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we put it in here, and we say base.csv. What is base.csv? You think I'd know since I just created it? This is okay, but I should probably put these in their own folder at some point. I'll write this in cleanup somewhere. Yeah, I'll just put this here, cleanup. Put everything in, where is this? Copy this path. Put, not everything, put loose files in this into their own folder. What is this though? It's yarn script and yarn project. It's just a project and the script. We may need to update dialog runner or something if we relocate those files. Oh my god, my posture's so terrible. This cat, she's adorable, but she's ruining my posture. She is 100% asleep. Okay, I still need to look at that file. Oh, we don't have French and English in there. What is this? This is the identifiers language that has the source. So yeah, this is okay. Yeah, this is fine. iTerm restart fixed it. Weird, but okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Oh, where's the cruise cat? God, she's gotten like hyper cuddly. And normally when I go to sleep, she'll like cuddle with me before sleep and then she'll go into her cat bed. Last night she did not, and I did not sleep well as a result of it. And I'm surprisingly alert today, despite the poor sleep. So I don't know what happened, but I'm probably going to pay the penalty later. All right, so what, update localizations? Does that do it? That did it. All right, cool. All right, so far, I mean, this is going pretty well. So this is done. Should we use locales? I mean, we have it now. So now let's go test that out. Let's go open up the French. And we need to change. How are we going to do this? So let's call this French tutorial man. And then we change our language to French, and it should just work. Locale. FR. FR. Right now I hit play. We got to find my controller. There it is. All right, so start game. Go into the farming game. Speed this up. That did not work. Right, because I got to add the translation files. Oh, this is tough. But hey, I'm figuring it out. So translation files are only created here. So delete these. Wait. How am I going to get the translation files eventually? They're going to be created from PO files? I don't have an answer for that. Yeah. How do we make the dot translation files eventually? We need to create them from the .po files, not the CSVs. All right, that's going to be a little bit tough. I understand French. I took a bunch of years of French, but I wouldn't say I really understand French. Yeah. This is unfortunate. So now I think it should work. Hey, Pressel. It should be French tutorial man now. It's not. Hmm. Wonder how it's taught in school. Not an easy language. Probably the way a lot of languages are taught. Like we started with some basic vocabulary and concepts, and then verb conjugations, and you'd have to write small papers and talk to classmates and stuff. Native Canadian French. I can help at some point. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll write that down. Thanks. I think you offered before, and I think I wrote it down from before too. Hideo ended up doing the entire French translation. So I'll say afternoon, add to offers. I'm still messing this up somehow. I don't know how though. What have I done wrong? Oh, I need to click update localizations again? Yeah. I'm French too, if you need to at some point. Okay, yeah. I'll write it down. PG King helped with the sheet music stuff for Skeleseller. That was really, really good. And if I do that, I will probably reach out to you again about the sheet music. But I don't know if I'm going to do that for this game. I'm not French. I will not help. Thanks, Oppresso. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that. Sometimes it's nice to have some non-French people not helping me. Okay, well, now I'm baffled. Now I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Also, can I read translation files? Please tell me these are not binary. Oh, God. How do we generate these? Godot generate translation file from .po. How do you do this? Hey, Schwartz. GNU get text format, text-based PO and compiled MO. Oh, I could just add the PO files. Oh. Oh my God, that's so much easier. We could just add the .po files directly. Oh, thank goodness. All right, but I still haven't actually gotten this to work. So we got to go do a bunch of stuff. Oh man, that's the story of my life lately. So we got to run the converter tool. Like this. Input is now game/resources/yarn/csvs/base. And then taking messages.pop. What? Is that a generated file? Probably, since all these are at the same time. Yes. This needs to go. Oh man, this needs to go in a different place. All right, well, whatever. Let's just run this. It's crazy. So how do we get the other languages? I gotta save these off. In fact, let's just save them now because the paths are different. Hey, Smack. Good morning. We don't use CSVs anymore for this, do we? Oh no, we do. What am I talking about? It's right down here. Why is it so much longer? Oh, because I accidentally pasted it twice. All right, let's run this. I don't know how this is gonna work, if it even works. Merged French. Did it work? Do I have French tutorial man in here now? No. Escape and find yourself in a sheet music of music you're currently listening to. I don't think people would understand. It'd be like if you showed, the average American a bunch of German text and it was like, oh, this is the German for what you're listening to. They might be like, oh, okay. I trust you. It'd be fun to shift the pages to get past some sort of obstacle. As you shift the pages, the music changes. Yeah, I'll give you an example of where I heard something like this before. In Banjo Kazooie, there is a place called Mad Monster Mansion, and there's an organ in there. And when you play the notes on the organ, no matter what you press, it plays a note from the chord and the music that's already playing in the background. So like this is a C key, but if the music is playing in E flat, it might play in E flat, so that it always sounds harmonious with the background. But it violates that's not how a keyboard works. You can't just press the same key and have it play different tones. So like people didn't understand that and they had to explain it later. I mean, it didn't. Interested in how you're doing localization? You doing like a JSON or maybe YAML for the translations? So I'm using .po and .pot files, portable object and portable object template, and Weblate for community source translations. So basically the way this works is like Godot will produce .po files for scenes. I'll produce .po files for scripts and yarn runner dialogue. Then Weblate consumes those and produces an interface for translators. Translators fill in the strings. Then I pull those strings back into Godot at some point. So yeah, that's the whole flow. So there's no text in here, but if there were text, then this would probably just work, right? Unfortunately, you can't just modify these by hand anymore, huh? You have to know what the base translation was. Farm yarn. So I guess Weblate becomes like a necessary interface almost. But if we do go change this, and I say something like French colon French, and then we go try this out again, hopefully this has been added. PO files should be over here. They are not. Where do we put these? Here? Yeah, these two. It's EN and FR. I need them to have the locales in there. Oh, man. We need locales from in the names of the .po files. Wait a second. Does whatever this is, message merge or something, does it generate these? Huh, interesting. Maybe it generates it. I'll have to look into that too. Can message merge generate the metadata for languages? I think that's probably all that Weblate is doing. I'm only asking this so that I can update my notes. So much to do. Okay, let's try that again. So we should finally see French show up. Although, how does it know to load this? It wouldn't, because it doesn't match the name. Oh no, it does. Well, it doesn't match the name, but I guess we can get it to match a name. All right, so if I make this FR, and then go change the localization file so that it uses that, this should still show up now. Oh, probably because Godot loads it and then figures out what the language is, and the file name actually doesn't matter whatsoever. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that's almost certainly what's happening. So this knows what the code is entirely, right? Yep, there it is. Yep. And this is just set as EN. That's probably an issue. I'm never doing British English, just to be clear. Like this will always be in American English. So I don't really care if we distinguish this or not. You what, mate? Just I should probably figure out how that came to be, though. The yeah. The code inside the file is what's used. The English file has en instead of enus though. All right, I gotta take a break because an ad's about to start. Means I gotta get this cat off of my lap. Look at this cat. All right, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Hey, Deller. Deller, I don't ever see you type hi. Not that it's a problem. I'm just like, oh, I'm back from break and Deller's typing again. All right, close the game. I don't know if I said that, but it didn't hear me. Computer. Hello, Deller. Nice to see you. Like I said, you don't have to type it. It's not a problem. Okay. So locales we are using now. How do we make the translation files? We don't even need them. Probably write that down on my high level solution over here. So what does update translations do? Do we even need to do that? Update localization? Yarn spinner will generate .translation files, or can generate at least, and probably does when we update the CSVs. Does it? I don't know. If I click this button, what happens? wrote translation, no CSV files need updating. But if I do update this and then click this button, now it updates CSV files as well and writes translation files. Okay, well, we don't need that. So it generates translation files when you update CSVs. We don't need those files because we convert to .po for the sake of weblate. So we can just git ignore them. Actually, alternatively, we could have our converter delete them. That way it's even more obvious when we forget to run the converter. That probably doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's a good idea. Just gonna put a thumbs down on this. Okay, so this is answered. And now we're back to looking through all of the code that we have. Okay, let's keep doing that. Yeah, so we added line numbers. There's no point looking at this file. That's good. Okay, I guess delete the delete me scene. Should probably do this through Godot. There it is. All right, and then we try using the delete me scene inside here. This is translation POT files. I guess just get rid of that. Wait, what? Where is that? What? This is inside Project Godot. Locale translations POT file. Is that in here? No. I don't know where that is. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe I need to reload the project? Hmm. Yeah, I deleted the delete me. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Huh. I don't know where that came from. Or maybe deleting the scene deleted it from here and oh, yep, that's it. That was it. All right, well, that answered that question. All right, so what's this now? Scenes en.po. That's here. I don't have a scenes file, right? I can't even find that by doing that. Scenes en, there it is. Just cat that. Oh yeah, that was in my delete me scene. So I guess we delete that from there too. Goodbye. Then we delete the underlying file. Scenes en.po. Good. All right, we're making progress. Making progress. Now we delete this stuff. All right, what changed on the title screen? Why is there any change? Just UID stuff. I usually check this in. But this shouldn't really make a difference. In fact, we could probably check this in on its own. As long as no other scenes changed. And they probably didn't. I could just search for them. Well, that found nothing. Title screen and settings screen. So settings screen had the UID already, but we didn't have to update it. Settings screen .tscn. Yes. Okay, fine. I'll just check this in on its own. Update UIDs. Godot did this automatically. This doesn't have to do with translations. All right, so we do want this file. We want this file. Conflicting duplicate. What is this? I can't read any of this text. does that say? Tools, yarn spinner, test fixtures. Oh, sure. Sure. All right. This is what I generated. This is nonsense. So delete that file. This is what I generated. This is probably not needed anymore. No, this is a test fixture. Was I able to figure it out? I think so. And hey, method, I haven't finished all the work I wanted to do. You know, in a sense, the way I kind of look at this is like classic programming problems here of like inch forward, find questions, find or like come up with questions, find answers, implement. And we're moving through this quickly enough that I'm not like super bothered by this. And I think the only reason we're able to do this fast is because I already used all of this technology before. Because when I was doing this with Skeletal, I remember this taking a long time. And I also remember having to go through the entire code base and find all the strings and then find the, I don't know, there was just a bunch of problems. So yeah, we don't have to do most of that this time around. And part of it's because we're going to be tackling this early in the project. This is another reason I want to do this now. The longer you wait to do this stuff, the more annoying it gets. It was just such a tedious time doing all of that. All right, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is generated by our thing. I don't know about the paths for this. Game localization yarn. It can't be there. We need to like change the tool to use the git submodule directory. Yeah. Instead of game/localization. Couldn't wrap my head around how it's supposed to work. I can explain if you want me to, although I just need to know what exactly, which part of the confusion there is, because otherwise I can give you a general overview. Implemented later on, so I had to replace all strings with their IDs instead. That'd be hard work. It wasn't necessarily their IDs. The problem that we had in Skeletal was imagine something like this, like name label equals, or dot text equals like adventurer colon plus adventurer dot name or something like that. Like the issue here is this isn't run through translations. We need to go through this string and just wrap it in TR and then give it a tag, maybe something like labels or something like that. This part's optional. But yeah, we need to wrap everything in a TR. But you only want to do this for strings that should actually be localized. And yeah, that means that if you had something like, I don't know, some debug button, click me, like you wouldn't want to wrap this one. This is, I mean, you could because it's showing to the player. But yeah, there are some strings used for identification. I guess a better example is a dictionary. Let's say like some dictionary and you wanted to get like the correct direction. You had like up and down. Like these shouldn't be localized. So you can't just do a blanket find replace. And then we need to extract the strings using get text. So we need to tell it how to find these. I need to figure out how to get all this stuff to work. There's quite a lot. Hey, Goose. All right, so we're looking good. This, I need to review the whole thing. We have a README here, which is probably not super helpful. Yeah. Make sure the converter tools README is good. All right, sample.csv is in text fixtures. This should get deleted. Scenes.pot. Delete this. Testeroni.yarn should almost certainly be deleted. And then we have the new project. Yeah. So you have files with a translated version of text that you inserted into the node, and depending on the language option, it would use a different file for the language to showcase. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So all of these translation files that we have a language code in it, and Godot at any given time has a translation server, I want to say, and it has, I'm pretty sure, this path locale. So this might be set to something like ENUS. So then it's going to come over here and be like, oh, hey, I've got English as a language, so we'll use all of this stuff. And then the way the Godot works is it finds messages based on their IDs here. So for example, you might say something like, okay, give me this string. So first, it's going to have its locale set, so it knows that it's English. So then it'll find this file because you would have told it about your different files. Then, and so it sees English here. Then it finds this message ID. So it's like, oh, hey, I know what that is. And then it replaces it with that language's text. So in this case, tutorial man, hello, welcome to Moondrop Village. You must be player. And it probably does some caching here to make this a little bit faster. But yeah, in general, that's how this operates. Hey, Fallen Great. It's going pretty well. And yeah, it is built into Godot. So Godot has its own entire localization story. And part of that is, yeah, there's loading text, there's translating it, there's, yeah, changing locales. And it has built-in pluralization thanks to the get text format. So like, let's say you did something like this. Like, ask me the apple or apples. So let's say this was your string. I mean, this would all have to be wrapped in quotes, right? But this pluralization, I was always super confused by, because in English, this is all you need. You need 3 arguments. You need the singular, you need the plural, and then you need the number. And that's exactly what we have: singular, plural, and then the number. That is not how some languages work. Polish has, I don't know, like 4 plural forms. There's something like singular, many, few, and other. It's something like that. I don't know. I'm making something up, right? GLFA, thanks for the raid. Hope the stream went well. I'm guessing you have to get to family stuff, so I don't want you to stick around if you can't, but good to see you, and I appreciate the support. So yeah, I was wondering, how do you get these plural forms out of an API that only has 3 arguments? And it works. It turns out the way that this works is by looking at the plural rules for, do I have this written down? Yeah. Yeah, and here it is. Like, Polish has one, few, many, and maybe something else there. And the way that works is like this. So it'll look inside the file to figure out which plural form it should use. And languages have different plural forms defined. So here's how Polish works. And look at how crazy this is, right? Okay, so n equals 1, that's a singular. So take the 0 option. Then if n is if the remainder is greater than or equal to 2 of dividing by 10, so like if it's 3 through 9, I guess. Oh, no. So that's, yeah, 3. Sorry, that's 2 through 9. And then this is just for 4. So it's 12, 13, and 14 are specific rules. And then, anyway, I don't know. Like, this is nuts. But this is how languages evolve, right? This just happens, and now you got to write your technology around this. Yeah, it's like very difficult to parse. For English, this is incredibly easy to parse, because here it is. It's plural if it's not equal to 1. So 0 and negative, plural. 2 and greater, plural. Hey, PKRW. You have 5 apples and you don't have 5 apples? Uses different forms of both 5 and apples? What? What are you talking about? Hey, Galaxy Inferno. Very difficult to write down into code rules. Well, the pluralizations, I think, are yeah, hard to even realize as native speakers sometimes, unless you have a language with no plurals, or you have a language like English with just 2 forms. But yeah, like Arabic, Polish, I think those are harder to figure out. All right. Negation changes the word apples. Or are we talking about in other languages? Because at least in English, they're the same words. Yeah. Just never go plural. Yeah. That's the best way to avoid it. Just make sure whenever you refer to anything, it's singular. Apple stays the same. But you don't have 5 carrots would change? Oh, you are talking about Polish, right? Because I was going to say, at least in English. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. I understand. Okay. I was going to say, because at least the sentences you typed out still use the words 5 and apples. That's why I was confused at first. All right, so now we got to go through this. And yeah, we got to look at everything we're doing here. I actually want to look at this over here. Okay, so we have run. We catch different exceptions and write these. Honestly, there's not much of a difference between these two things. And run itself can return an error code. Yeah, sure, that's fine. I actually don't mind this. I'm not going to be too nitpicky about this. Howdy, GLFA. How has your work been going? Because things have been pretty smooth here. I'm happy with progress. One of the things I've been kind of struggling with is how much time should I put in to working on this in any given week? Like, I could push myself a bit and add like 1 to 2 hours here and there. So, should I? And there's no right answer to this question. All your time, all of it. Don't sleep. As I think the trade offs are like risk of burnout versus, yeah, just more productivity. And there's some sweet spot where like you won't burn out. Like you could have pretty much any job in the world, and if you're working for 1 minute per week, it's probably fine, right? Unless it's like a morally reprehensible thing, like you're a hitman. But yeah, if you're, I don't know what, stacking bricks for 1 minute, or if you're filling out forms for 1 minute, it's not going to burn you out. But yeah, working 10 hours a day will probably burn most people out. So if only you just could see what is your burnout stat at any given time. There's just a meter floating above your head, and you just look up and you're like, oh, I'm fine. Look at all the person. I have so many candy pieces in my hand. Adam has 10 fingers. He types on a keyboard with many key. Also morning. Yes, good morning indeed. And I hope you have many good morning this week. In any creative projects, you also have to count off time for your brain to do some magic. Yeah, exactly. And that's where I wonder, like, what is that sweet spot? Because I think I could probably work 4 hours a day for a very long time. Like, I probably wouldn't need a vacation until maybe many months have passed. And then it probably wouldn't be due to the work. It'd probably just be due to wanting to change environments for a little bit or something. If you're enjoying it, then add time. But if you start to feel frustrated, cut down. Yeah, the problem that I've had historically is I enjoy it until I like immediately hit my limit and have to take time off. So as an example, back in the Botland days, I would stream for 32 hours a week. I feel like streaming for 33 meant that I had to just take some time off. Like that one extra hour was enough to just push me into like burnout territory. Yeah. Let me know when you found out how to find that sweet spot. Forever looking. Changes per day for me though. Yeah, I think the answer to all of this is just err on the side of caution. Like do less work than you feel you can. And if guilt piles up, add. But the opposite way is to do too much work, and it's not guilt that piles up, it's burnout that piles up. Portuguese, there's plurals that are not standard, almost are. Like 1,000,000 and 2,000,000. How do you solve these specifics, or you don't? So in general, the solutions are on other people. Because in the end, like I don't speak Portuguese, right? So all I'm going to do is provide an English string that allows you to have the flexibility for plurals if needed. So as an example, in Skeleseller, we had something like this: hired the, and then 0 would be filled in with something like rogue or mage or warrior or witch doctor. This was problematic though, because you can't write a string in French that accommodates all of these different characters, because the changes to either la or la, depending on the gender of whatever 0 is. I guess you could do this if all of your characters are male or female, just one of the two, always. I mean, then it would work. But yeah, this was impossible. So what we had to do is we had to change it, and you could do something like hired the 0, and this would be like masculine hire, and then you could have feminine hire. But the way we actually solved this is by just exploding out all of the different options. So we had a hired the rogue, that was its own string. Hired the mage, that was its own string. Hired the warrior, that was its own string. And that way we only needed to pick like the correct masculine or feminine for that particular adventurer. So yeah, same thing with Portuguese pluralization. You would pretty much just say something like, give me like number apples or so. I don't know. I'm kind of writing this out stupidly, but basically you'd use the TRN form of this, right? Like give me 1 apple or give me 5 apples. And then this is kind of stupidly written out. But yeah, so then in Portuguese, you'd fill in all the plural forms you have and you just translate this however you want. Personally, switch between different areas of game dev to avoid burnout, but also it's not my main gig. Yeah, I think switching around is really helpful. I think whenever I was doing game dev as a side gig, I think the problem I ran into is there are unfun tasks and you can only put them off for so long. And then the third part of this is when it's your side gig, you only want to do the fun stuff. So eventually I just hit this kind of like this wall of, well, now I have to do unfun stuff. And I think part of it is realizing that this is going to happen and then accounting for it. Taking a couple days to recover because I'm tired. Yeah, thanks, Meyer. And take care, GLFA. Thanks again. Try to be mindful of what gets dropped, exercise, sleep, other projects. If something suffers, reevaluate my priorities. Yeah. Also, I think the other thing is there's this expression of don't let perfect be the enemy of good. I think this goes for kind of everything in your life. It's not just the quality of a project or the work that you're doing, but also your own habits. Like you may slip on something. You may, whatever, like a 1,400 calorie meal 3 times a day for some day, and you're like, well, that was overdoing it. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, just at some point try to get back to normal. We start with hard coded strings to avoid having to learn every rule every language can have. Yeah, yeah. I think it's tough. I think this is where just like some amount of experience is a good thing, because I didn't even realize the kinds of problems you could have. Because originally in English, this is totally fine. You will never need another string for this. You don't need to worry about masculine or feminine. It's just use the word the. It's the same. THE. You're done. You're making a sound, cat? I didn't do docs 2 years ago, and now I'm a lead, and I need to explain it to a new dev to migrate it. You mean that unfun? Unfun is in the eye of the beholder. I like documentation, as you can tell by the immense amount that I produce every single day. But yeah, some people don't like it. Some people like art. I probably would not like doing art for right now. Oh, we got to finish reading this code. I only started and I didn't actually finish. Okay, so if you go to convert, oh, you only have the convert command. Where's our README for this? Yeah, we only have convert. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so get the options. Again, I'm not gonna be too picky about this. Options.path. Is this something I specified? It is. So I think that's our problem. I like it to be clear what is input and what's output. Rename arguments to make it clear what is input and what is output. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good, Phalad. Like, I'm really looking forward to once we're done with all this stabilization stuff. And I'm intentionally trying to take 10 days to do this, because otherwise I would have been like, well, I figured out enough for now. Let's come back to this later. And then later becomes much later. And then I'm doing all the unfun stuff at once. And yeah, I just strongly, strongly dislike that for Skeleseller. So yeah, we're kind of intentionally taking it a little bit slow right now, at least in terms of the fun stuff. Okay. This is pretty good. I do want these in different files. I'm going to use a lot of AI to write this tool. I just don't feel like doing this. Yeah. We also need a comment about what this does. Use string dot starts with char instead of starts with string when you have a single character. Did this find that? Starts with, oh, nice, it did. Need the README to explain exactly what's happening and why. Should probably have a comment in the program itself saying to look at the README. Gives you inspired to work on the project. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have this like personal policy of you should always be looking forward to something in life. Maybe there's an upcoming, I don't know, movie or a concert or an event or a person you're going to meet. Just any of that sort of thing. Just keeps you going. The dopamines. All right. So there's a test that was added here. What is this? BOM. I see. Byte order mark. Oh man, what did I just say? Oh no, what did I just think? I thought something. Oh yeah, how do I run the test? How do we run the test? Should we have that in the README? Yeah, I think it's important for in life for everybody. I agree. Field. Ah, I see. Yeah, this is interesting. Parse rows. This is for CSV stuff, right? Yeah, this should definitely be in its own file. This is ridiculous. And writing these, I guess this is fine. We should probably maybe indicate when we do builder.append line that this is generated by our converter tool. We can't get this done in the amount of time before lunch. And I do think it's worth pushing the Scala Seller stuff this afternoon. I'm so torn. So we have two options. Option one, do Scala Seller stuff in the afternoon. Option two is save it for when it makes more sense, maybe tomorrow. We're showing you the param names and the function brackets. These, I don't recall. I'd have to look at the setting. I'm not so well versed with the settings of Rider to be able to tell you off the top of my head. But at least if you know that it's possible, you can go search for it. Yeah, sorry, I gave you more help there too. Yeah, this stuff, I mean, I think this is pretty much fine. It's saying there are a bunch of typos. But other than that, yeah. Okay. Not having to type param equals. So I really liked VS Code semantics for this. Let's say you had a function that was called like this, like public void, I don't know, set stats. And you have health, but then you have like power is optional and armor is optional. So when you call this function, you can call it like this, 1, 2, 3. But you could also call it like this. At least I think you can. Like 1, 3, 2. Or any combination thereof of specifying them in order and then having the name parameters at the end. The nice thing about this way is that this is resilient to you changing the order of these things. In Rider, I could not figure out how to do this. So when I try to do this, it deletes these and sets it back to this style. And it is semantically identical right now, but then if you later add in, you're like, oh, actually, we want a speed stat in here. Now this is broken. Now your speed is going to be set to 2 and your power is going to be set to 3. And there's a way to overcome this by using the refactor tool to add a parameter to this so that it goes and modifies all the colors of that. But you got to be mindful of that. You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. If we look at something like all item data, I think that's one of the only, yeah, we do like value :6. And that way too, you understand what this is just looking at GitHub, for example, where you don't have any sort of parameter inlay. Anyway, I want to figure this out. What should we do? And does it really matter? Does it really matter? Probably not. I probably shouldn't belabor decisions that don't matter. This is how you run into analysis paralysis. Like, it's not like we're running a Steam sale soon. In fact, I don't know when the summer sale is. It's in June sometime. June Steam sale. When's the next Steam sale? Yeah, when does it start? As long as we're in time for this, we're fine. Steam summer sale 2026. Hello, where is this? Where's the second half? What? How is this not like public? Hang on, let me look this up on my dashboard. I need to use the mobile app to authenticate myself. Give me a sec. There it is, June 25th. Okay, yeah, we have plenty of time. It's May 27th. Yeah. So one day isn't going to make a difference. 1 week won't make a difference. Is that a C# specific thing? Does it have a name? So the concept of optional parameters is not a C# specific thing, but the naming of it might be specific, and I don't know what you call that. But yeah, if you just search for like C# name parameters, you probably find, yeah, named and optional arguments. Like this might be specific to C#, but the concept of optional parameters is not. So I'll link this. And then I don't know what setting controls in VS Code or Rider, but you should be able to find it from that. So yeah, let's just play it by ear. I should probably change my today command as a result of that. Today, Adam is going to keep working on this. This afternoon, he might switch to Skeleseller to incorporate the new Japanese translation. He'll play it by ear. Cool. All right, so I'm pretty happy with these changes. We're going to check in everything. So like setup for localization. Added an AI produced tool for converting from CSV to, I'll just write .csv. .po. This is because Yarn Spinner can only produce CSV files, but we want to use Weblate's monolingual get text setting so that our source strings aren't in English. And what else do we do? Added line numbers or added line tags. Each line. This process was done automatically by Yarn Spinner itself. Yeah, I guess one of the drawbacks of this is that IDs in translated files are just going to show up with no extra string next to them, right? So I search it for French. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. Also, these aren't fuzzy by default. I guess I should delete that. Yeah, so this is all you'd see, and you would have no idea what this means. Now, what we could do is we could put in the English string here if we wanted to make modifying them by hand easier. But I don't want to do that because I don't know who's going to ever touch this by hand. If they did do it by hand, then we'd go add that in, I guess. So when it comes to writing what we did at a high level here, so some drawbacks, you can't really modify yarn spinners PO files by hand. E.g., the French file looks like this, where it's impossible to tell what string you're even translating. Is there any concern about Skeleseller having a skeleton as his mascot? I only briefly thought about it for China, which is where I thought it was the most impactful thing, and I just thought, it's a game about a skeleton. Like, what am I gonna do? And it turns out we never got a Chinese translator anyway, so it never ended up mattering. To be honest, I think that releasing Skeleseller in China would probably be very profitable. And I have no plans to do it. I just want to move on from the project. I guess technically it's already on Steam, but it just doesn't have a Chinese translation. You know, these are some of the differences of working as an indie dev versus a big company. I feel like I'm not trying to squeeze every ounce of money out of this. And to some extent, it's kind of a disservice to players, because if I were trying to squeeze more money out of it, there'd be more content eventually, although it also costs money. But like, yeah, localizing is a pretty easy way to reach new people. It's tasked with translating our app to support Spanish. We did not have any cool tools for me to use. I had to use Google Translate. Oh man. Yeah, that sounds crazy. All right. Anything else I want to mention here? Why is this not being checked in? Wait, why do we have two of these? Oh, I see. All right, let's commit this. Cool. Close all these tabs. So move classes to their own files just for ease of reading. Yeah, let's go find that. Program.cs. Okay. So I'm going to do this over here. I wonder if it still has a context from before. Modify program.cs so that it's not a ton of classes in a single file. Put each class in its own file. Right? How many of these do we have? Yeah, maybe not like CSV entry. If they seem big enough. CSV entry is pretty small, so figure out where that should go. I want the code to be easier to read at a glance. Let's see this. Been a writer for a good amount of time. How do you like it compared to your old workflow? I like a lot of aspects of it. I think there are some things that are downsides. So I still have to restart Rider from time to time because Command R to go to functions breaks. Oop, there we go. So that's one thing that's kind of annoying. Like writing out commit messages is kind of annoying too, but one very specific reason. So see how I have this ruler over here? So if I typed a bunch of text and then I want to type a word like I want to type in a. So I type IN space, and then what happens is it actually puts this onto the new line with the space. So now I typed in a place, whatever, where something, something, something. This space is because the like hard wrap didn't realize that, well, I didn't realize this, bad to say, it's not sentient, but yeah, like that's annoying. It's annoying that this doesn't just like wrap by default anyway. It didn't do this in VS Code, so it's not a difference, I guess. There's some other little quirks that I don't like that I couldn't easily fix. Like if I'm searching for the next instance of something and I get to the bottom, it just literally does nothing now. I have to type a different shortcut to go back to the top. Like in VS Code, it was just one shortcut for all of that. And I tried quickly just like vibe coding a plugin for it and it didn't really work. And I'm sure that you could get it to work. I just ran into some problems with that. So yeah, those little paper cuts are kind of annoying. And there were paper cuts with VS Code as well. I think on the whole, there are like this just works more like how I would want an IDE to work. Yeah. You know what? Maybe we should just add this to the dictionary. Save message merge to dictionary in this one. Sure. There. Wait, why does it say typo here too? That's the same dictionary. It's the same. Oh, weird. All right, did this finish? Because it shouldn't take that long, right? It is taking that long. Split converter into small focus files while keeping the public CLI behavior unchanged. First map the current classes so the new file boundaries feel natural instead of just mechanically scattering types. CLI entry point, option parsing, CSV reading. Yeah, this all sounds fine. Checking the resulting tree and building now after a large file move. That's where the namespace or include mistakes didn't show up. Yeah, there's no indication of how to test this. Yeah, I check it's open and it's massive on the right side. So for that, I have Command B to close everything that's open. So like let's say I have these two things open, just Command B hides everything. So I do that pretty frequently. And in VS Code, it was two separate shortcuts. So like I had to do Command B to close the side, then Control backtick to close the bottom. And if I had the AI chat thing open, I had to do a different thing for that. I also have distraction mode set up, or distraction free mode set up, but I don't really use that anymore. All right, so did this work? It says it passed. Can I just run this? Should also probably write in the README whether it's safe to just rerun this. I don't have this written down anymore now. All right, let's just press up a bunch of times till hopefully we find it. No. All right, well, it's one of these. Let's try running this. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So it should have made a whole bunch of other files. It did. Let's see if this is indeed easier to read. How many lines is this now? Yeah, cut out 700 lines. It is showing a bunch of red here, which I find surprising. How did this even just work? How did this work? It must not have built. .NET build project tools / yarn spinner CSV converter. Unknown switch. What? -- project. Oh, you can't do that? Maybe like that. Build succeeded. How is it succeeding? This can't be resolved. Strange. Where does tool exception exist? Yeah, I can't find any of these. Yeah, where's... Oh, there it is. Internal sealed class. Yarn spinner CSV converter. Yarn spinner CSV converter. It should exist. I don't know why it's not finding this. Huh. It's in the same namespace. If I say public sealed class, does that help? No. Internal should be fine because it's in the same namespace anyway. It says it's IL code, so this is generated. File does not belong to the project. Well, well, well. CS project. Maybe this is failing. What? All right, I'm going to try something else because this builds. It seems like a writer problem. Maybe I just restart. Like maybe some cache got broken because a whole bunch of files appeared at once. I don't know. So is there red now? Yes. I mean, I still don't understand this. If it's in the same namespace and it's a class that we have right here, what is the problem? And I don't have a way to build this particular thing. Strangely, it builds from the command line, though. Strange. Okay, let's try something else here, just really fast. What if I put this over here? Yeah, okay. So what I think is happening is it doesn't know about any of those files, but I don't know how to tell it about those files. I didn't have to do that over here, right? No. Root namespace? Do I need that maybe? Yeah, maybe I need that. No, no, no. That's just for what the folder would be, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And where did it say the thing about how that's not part of the solution? Where did I see that? Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll just type this in AI. There's something I'm missing here with configuration. I just don't know what it could be. Well, actually, no. Before we do this, let's go look at how I did this for these. This could find files alongside it, right? There were no files alongside it. Then we have another program that could do this though. Feature tags. Did this have something? No. Where's our build exporter? Oh, what's it called? Godot tools? Release tool. And release tool had this right here. So we want to find the CS prod file of this. It has reference to the project. That shouldn't matter. This stuff looks pretty much the same. Yeah, it's strange. I don't see what's missing. Yeah, I don't see what's missing. Maybe it's specifically because this is called program. I don't think that should matter either. But I'm still trying to figure out where that part of this is not part of the project came from. Oh, here. This file does not belong to the project when I try clicking this. Okay. So the tool builds from the command line, but when I load it in Rider, it says for everything that isn't program.cs, this file does not belong to the project. What is causing this? How do I fix this? I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I don't tend to use internal, but I don't think that'd be the problem here. And as mentioned, it builds from the command line. So yeah, I don't know what's missing. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I see. The solution file didn't know about this. So this is the only thing we needed to do. But this is going to add this to the game solution, right? Like now I think this tool will exist when we try pushing. I don't think we want to do this. Doesn't that change mean that um, people who download Stuck in a Broken Tutorial will have access or will have the code for this, for the converter tool on their machines? I don't want that to be the case. Also, how we tell it to build this thing, like need to change agents.md to tell it how to build the converter tool. Is it done? Can I just cut this off somehow? Steer. How do I just stop this? How do you stop this? Oh, there it is. You just can't have anything typed. Okay. Yeah. This is my concern. We had separate projects for everything before. I, what I want, and maybe this is not a paradigm that you're supposed to be able to do, but I want to have Rider open everything, but exporting the game should only have the game code, not tools. Yeah, so it just deleted this. It gives Rider a clean, full workspace without changing the main game solution. Can a solution refer to another solution? Makes it part of the main source, which is not what you want if that solution is meant to represent only the game or to the change. Actual player downloads because it's outside game. Godot export should not include it. Godot exports from the project root at game, not the repo root. So players should not get the converter from normal game exports. Is that true? Open the converter directly when working on the tool. Create a separate tool-only solution. Create a dev-only aggregate solution. All right, let's try the whole open the new thing. Thing is, I bounce around a lot when I'm doing this stuff, and I don't want to have to open a new solution altogether. So let's see how it would work. We go over to here, we go to tools, we go to this, we open up the CS proj file. Trust and open, yes, new window. Does it work at least? Yeah, it does. Yeah. What do I want as my workflow for this then? Because if I can't even navigate the code, then it's almost like I'm not going to be using Rider for this at all, right? I think we need to validate what it's saying about Godot export should not include it. I think it's going to be built into the app that we create. I know we can exclude things from Godot's exports. I don't know how to validate this. That's the problem. Because I can go export from Godot, but then I'll just have an app file. I won't know. I guess we need to open the PCK file. Hey, Matt. It's been going pretty well. We made a lot of progress. And there's still quite a lot to do. So the new problem is I want to be able to edit everything in the greater SIEBT domain at once. However, if I add the tooling CSproj files to the solution, I think they'll end up on player machines. I don't want that to be the case just because it's a waste. Not because of security or anything. Work is so busy. I'd like to at least check in. Gonna make playing the game pretty exciting. Yeah, right now, you can see it here. We're on day 3 of 10 of stabilization. So the next like week and a half of calendar time, so a week of business days. Next week of business days will not be anything spoilery or very exciting, probably. Well, it might be slightly spoilery, I guess. But we're doing localization stuff for now. I want to eventually move to saving and loading. I want to do some like polish and bug fixing. And I really, from here forward, I think dedicating a half day each week to polish is going to be really important. Because I looked at the list of like, okay, what do we have even just for the 2 very tiny games we have so far in terms of polish? And it's quite a lot. And this is where I'm debating what level of polish is needed. I've mentioned this on stream before. I played a game called Jazz Punk. This is a comedy game, and I feel like the first couple of worlds were done very well because they probably put a lot of time into those. And same thing with a game called Ukulele. I think the first world of this game was good, and I think the other ones were just bad. I feel like they just put a lot of resources into the first world. And I don't want this game to turn into that too, where it's like, well, the first level is really nice and it's really polished, and then it just starts getting like sloppier and sloppier toward the end. So I think I need to verify whether everything in the solution ends up in the exported build. I probably need to unpack the .pck file to determine that. Even then, I'm not sure if it would work. Maybe I could just try gd.print from the main project a variable that lives in the other project. Okay, I got to take another break. So I will be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hi, hi, hi. Close the game. Okay. So let's get this. This is on Bluetooth right now. I don't want it on at all. There we go. Epic race. I didn't get to witness it. All right. How do we test this? I guess you go back to the solution file and undo. Doesn't show me. Review, copy. Paste. All right, so now from main, we try printing something from program, I guess. We can't even do this though, right? I have to make like a public static class testeroni public const string foo equals this is coming from the other tool. And then we go use that from over here where we do gd.print. How do we do this? Converter tool should be this. I don't know if you can do this. No, we didn't add a reference. So this won't work. And if we try this, it's gonna, yeah, you have to add the reference and then import it. And then yes, of course this is gonna build. So I wonder without the reference what would happen here. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that. When we go to export, what does it do? I think it defers to the setting that's over here, all the way at the bottom. Assembly name is SIAVT, solution directory is dot dot slash. And that's it in terms of settings that we have for that, right? So we go over to this. It might know just to launch that CS proj. I doubt it. No, it has to be a solution, right? So it build, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we can figure this out without actually just doing this. All right, let's just go try it. So I'm going to export the project, save, okay. Something that is very likely happening is it is probably building the tool anyway, even if it's not including it in the result. I'm okay with that. I don't mind if I'm the one taking an extra like 200 milliseconds or something when it comes to building. I just don't want this to appear on players' machines. But now we run into a problem of how do we even validate this? Game out, Mac here, paste this over to temp, replace, open this. So this is the app that we have. I guess let's delete the old one and then rename this. So yeah, this is the app we just created. We can do show contents. This probably won't help because I don't think we're going to find anything in here other than the PCK file right there. That we might be able to look into. The rest of this probably, what is this stuff? Yeah, we don't have any other interesting stuff. So we got to go open this. I don't remember how you do this, but there's something I wrote about this, exporting builds, PCK. There's some PCK Explorer, I think it's called. Yep, here it is. Could open PCK with PCK Explorer. Couldn't get it working on Mac, but the Linux version worked as I would expect. I ran this. How did I run this? What Linux machine do I have? What? How did I do that? Did I do this on my Steam Deck? Oh man, I might have. Well, maybe it'll just work on Mac now. What are they up to? It hasn't changed. Okay, so then it probably won't work. Do we try this again? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Download on the GitHub releases page. I mean, I already had this at one point. I might even have it on my computer already. So we want Mac Universal here. Yeah, it's from September. I already know that I tried running this before. So if it's malicious, it was malicious back then too. And then what do I run? I think it's the problem I had before. I don't know how you're supposed to run this. I ran it with the dot console thing. Okay, I guess we just need to make it executable and let me try it. So I copy this. Too malicious. Save. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. So chmod plus x Godot. Whoops. Change it to that, yes. And then try running it. And then just paste in this stuff, -L. And then the PCK file, which is here. Killed. Not opened. Engage privacy mode. All right, let's find out. Also, you know what? I should fix my camera on this scene. I don't know what happened here. Oops, what did I just do? There we go. There. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now lock that. Okay, so let me go look into this. Privacy and security. Give me a sec. What is going on? Oh, did I do it? Did it work? No. It just keeps saying killed. But why? Can we run it with -- help maybe? I don't think this is going to help. No, it just won't even run. Do they have instructions on how to run it? Install .NET runtime. Use .NET console DLL to run it? Wait a second. I wasn't doing any of that. But there is no console. What? .console.dll. The only thing I have is this thing. Maybe that's what they wanted us to use? Have I tried this before? Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to run this. Did anyone ever talk about this? Bro, I don't even know how to use it. Oh my god, what does this mean? What are you doing? What's the system? This is exactly my problem. Oh man, I also don't know how to use it. Oh wow. Yeah, some notes about running on Mac. Might be nice to know the version required here and here. Hey, Gooseman, long time no see. How are you doing? It's been a very long time. It's been 2 years and 4 months and 5 days. Did someone say goose? No, goose man. It's like saying, did someone say human when you were talking about a centaur? I just downloaded the version. It ran with no problems. What did you use to run this? Godot PCK Explorer. %.net console. Where is this thing from? Where do you even get that from? What? I don't. Yeah, I don't get how you're supposed to run this. Lurking, also very busy. Also, half of me is a goose. Oh, what half of me is the goose and what half is the man? Well, the honking's got to be the goose part, right? But yeah, very busy. I hear you. I was incredibly busy earlier this year when I was trying to launch Skeleseller, and now I feel like I'm regular busy. It's nice to be regular busy. Yeah, I just have never figured out how to actually use this program. And it says the binaries are available on the GitHub releases page. What did I do wrong? This is Win Linux Mac .NET UI console. Maybe that's what I should have been downloading. But I got the console Mac version. Let's just get this. Yeah, maybe I was downloading the wrong thing that entire time. Wow, well, there's the stuff that I'm apparently supposed to be using here. Mac Universal. Yeah, we have a dynamic library. Okay, well, let's try that then, right? So what am I supposed to do? .NET with this thing? Wow, if that's the real issue here this whole time. All right, so cd into Godot PCK Explorer .NET UI console. Yeah, and then run .NET with this. You must install or update .NET to run this application. Following frameworks are found. What is it expecting? Version 9? I don't have version 9. So how do I install the missing one? Oh, cool. That was easy. Yeah, all done on versions of 9. All right, so open this to this. Okay, so Mac OS instructions. So Linux instructions, Mac OS instructions, install .NET 9. 9 dot what? 0.0? Yeah. And the Linux instructions were these. And then download this one. Download from GitHub releases the, what is it? The zip named, that didn't work. And then how do we run this now? Did I actually install this? I don't even think, did I even download it? I downloaded it. I didn't install it. All right, engage privacy mode. Yeah, give me a sec. Doodaloo. Now what? Now I just try running this. Oh man. Oh man, is it just gonna keep trying that? Yeah. Okay, run it. So yeah, I never got here before. I was very confused as to how this worked. Open settings, privacy, and security. Click open anyway. So now we run it again and now it'll finally work. All right, engage privacy mode one last time. Did it work? I think it did. I think it finally did. I think this task that we're doing is finally going to work. All right, so we just got to get the location of that file. Where art thou file? Here. Is there a shortcut to copy the path? I want to look that up. Mac OS Finder, copy path keyboard shortcut. I want this and I don't know. I have to keep using the mouse for it. Wait, for real? Let's ask ChatGPT. Is there a keyboard shortcut to copy the path to the selected file in Finder? I know that I can use the mouse to pick it from the context menu, but I want to use the keyboard. All right, well, let's just do it through the mouse for right now and paste this over here. And would you look at that? We got everything. So does a converter exist here? Doesn't seem like it. Select the file in Finder and press Command Option C. Really? Oh, cool. Oh, that's a nice, helpful note. Mac OS. Finder. Hotkeys. So Alt Command C. Copy path to selected file. And then the only other thing that I use all the time that I want to remember is Command Shift period to show hidden files. Yeah. Command Shift period show hidden files. Okay, great. So does this prove anything? I'm glad we actually figured out how to run this. Oh, this is impossible to read. That's
Whoops,
why
whoops.
we do one of these. Copy output. Hey, look at that. All right. So, what do we have in here? Is there anything indicative of files that, I guess, C# files? Scenes, assets, source. Yeah, source. Source subgames, source UI, add-ons, yarn spinner. Yeah, I guess it doesn't build it in. Wow. So now we need to prove that this actually did what I expected it to do. And go build with a reference between the two projects. I'm never gonna get through this. This is okay. I gotta stop grumbling about this stuff. Like this is part of the development process and part of being thorough. This is why my notes end up being worthwhile. And yeah, sure, I have a billion to do items. Yeah, this is not gonna get done today, even if we spend the whole day. All right, well, let's do gd.print and then what? Testeroni.foo. It's going to ask if we want a reference. We are going to say that we want that reference. So now if I just run the game, it's going to print out something like this is coming from the tool or whatever it is that I wrote earlier. We should see that. This is coming from the other tool. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now what we do is we export this. Export. And then we wait. How does this feel to watch, by the way? You know, I don't ask that often enough. But like, are people just lurking and working? Are they actually actively watching and they're like, oh, I'm glad I'm not doing this stuff? Because I feel good to be making progress here. All right, game out, Mac. Lurking and working. Anything with you want to do in real dev and struggling through is fun. Real dev, gotcha. I'm guessing you mean AI stuff is not that interesting. Actively watching when I should be working, if that helps. Oh, cool. Okay. Whoops. Do you find it hard to watch and work at the same time? All right, I want to run the exact same command we just had. Well, without the PV copy. And now we should see the converter in here, I think. We don't. I don't see program.cs either. That's strange. That's strange. Working on my small tower defense game. Can't really lurk much when on calls. You gotta have like one ear has my stream, the other ear has the call, and then just split your brain in two. I was trying to do this yesterday. I was at the library tackling some work, and I wanted to see like who raided and what they were saying. So I had two different raids open at once. It's very hard to focus. Lurking and wearing a data engineer costume. Oh, nice. They look like dinosaurs, right? Sorry, that sounded insulting when I meant for it to sound absurd and wacky. Dinosaur has the pejorative connotation in this technology. Should have just said T Rexes. Okay, so I'm not certain if this represents a problem. It says size 1. How's that? How is that a thing? And why isn't program.cs in here? Let's try running that application. I got to do it from the command line. All right, I know the shortcut for this now, so I can just do that. And then cd, actually, I want to cd into this. Contents, Mac OS. This prints the whole running from another tool thing. All right, I don't understand. And I'm glad I ran this. But yeah, problem is that I don't see program.cs in the PCK regardless of whether I can print a line from it. I don't know why. Like, should we be able to see it? Is this in the code? Could we use some like string dump tool? How do you do that? Mac OS dump strings from binary. How to extract hard-coded strings from a binary. Use the strings command line tool. Can I just type strings and then stuck in a broken tutorial? Apparently you can. All right, now can we search for tool? Probably would help for me to know. No, wait, no. We can search for it, but that's all that shows up. What? What? This is coming from the other tool. Yeah, this definitely does not appear here, right? Is it a problem with the amount of like history in our buffer? Is it just that there's too much text? It is. Okay. All right. Now we're learning something. So we copy it over to here, paste. It's going to take a very long time because we have 337,000 lines. Other tool. No, it doesn't show up. Word tool shows up 279 times. What about this is? Because maybe there's a line split in the middle. Are any of my strings here? Like, what? Screen fade? Screen fade has to be there, right? It's not? All right, I don't know what I'm doing. Dump strings of C# binary. Creates its own game file. Yeah, it's got everyone's game code in Godot directly. .NET dump diagnostic tool. Only supported with .NET 5 and later. That's fine. How do you use this? Way to collect and analyze dumps. No, I don't want that. I want to just look at strings. Man. Isn't app a zip? Yeah, it is. And I can go into the contents of it, but this is pretty opaque from here. So under here, we just have a binary. There's 190 megabytes. That's quite a lot. So the strings are probably in there. And then we also have a PCK file with any resources, which does contain some C# files, but their size is listed as 1. So what I'm trying to figure out is this string built into the game if I don't have a reference to this project? And I don't know how to even get the answer to that. Maybe I should just ask over here. Yeah, so I have a C# binary that I produced for Mac OS. Is there some way to figure out whether a particular hard-coded string appears in that binary? I tried strings, but my string doesn't show up. And I know for sure that it's there since it's printing to standard out when I run the binary. Strings can be compressed. Try strings after you unzip the binary. I don't think the binary is compressed. Like this is just a binary. Unless what you're saying is unzip the app. I don't think I need to do that. Yeah, I don't think that's what's going on. Yeah, I don't think it's compressed. C# literal is very likely stored in UTF-16LE, while macOS strings only looks for plain ASCII-ish strings by default and doesn't support GNU strings-el. Try this. Perl. Do I even have Perl on this machine? I do. G strings. That's quite the name for a binary, I gotta say. GNU strings. I feel like they could have just put the N and U there. Yeah, I kind of want to try this because I don't want to do this stuff. Brew install. Well, I'm doing it. Okay, so now we can run this, right? Maybe the new thing? Huh? What? Not found. No available formula. You mean B string? What? I don't want to search for this while I'm streaming because I know what's gonna happen. GNU utility brew strings utility bin utils. Oh, bin utils. So I need to install bin utils. Brew bin utils. Is this a thing? They mentioned strings on here. No. New binary tools. Ah, there it is. Okay. So that's what I guess we go do. Now we can run it. What? What am I missing? It didn't replace strings, did it? Unknown flag help. I don't think this is the GNU version of this. But I don't really know what I'm doing. Do we have to modify something in Z shell? Doesn't know. Yeah, you look a bit tired. I'm doing pretty well. I hate typical. Let me just try this just to see. No, it doesn't exist. Whoops. No. Do we have B strings? No. Okay, I'm not certain how you're supposed to get this. So bin utils, Mac OS. And again, we're just going to do this off screen just in case. Where is this? It installed, right? Keg only, which means it was not symlinked because it shadows the host tool chain. Oh, I see. Okay, so we just need to pull it from here. Aha, found it. What's the original question? The original question is if so I have the like let's say just game.slnx file and we have a game.csproj and that's working fine. You build, the player gets the game. Thumbs up. So now I just created a like tool.csproj. I don't want players to have this, but I want Ryder to let me edit either the game or the tool from a single solution. So what I did is the solution file now points to game.csproj and tool.csproj. Question is, does this appear on player machines if I don't have a reference to it from game.csproj? And that's what we're trying to figure out right now. And I think this will let us do this. So we got to go find, well, we got to go into this. Copy. All right, and this is going to take forever, right? So I gotta run this with all of this. I gotta write notes about this stuff. All right, so we need dash a dash el rep dash f from the other tool. Huh, didn't find it. What's dash f do in grep? Fixed strings, interpret as a set of fixed string. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Wait, this can't be right. These are the strings that show up? It's just the alphabet a bunch of times. But babe. Yeah, then it's talking about some really yummy food. Mm. So this seems like some kind of encoding problem. All right, let's look at the man page of this and figure out what A and EL are supposed to do. Man page is not compatible. I've never seen that before. A, scan the entire file, not just the data section. And where's EL? Encoding. L is 16-bit. Okay, so that's why it looks like it's wrong. So we probably need to pick like capital L or... All right, let's try capital L. No, that's not any better. Well, no, wait, some of this. Color resources, no. Word tool doesn't show up. I mean, we can just keep doing this. E capital S. And then that's the last chance. It won't be 7-bit. Did it work? Is it going to paste? Or is it just going to crash VS Code? I think it's on the crash VS Code route right now. So let's just not PB copy this. Oh, yeah, that's messed up. That's super messed up. And it probably just keeps going for a very long time. Yeah. What is that? 8 million lines? 9 million lines? Can we search through this? Tool. Oh, we can. But yeah, it doesn't show up. All right, well, that was a waste of time. Yeah, that was a waste of time. Is there anything else we could do here? Wait a second. I was trying little endian. We could try big endian. I don't think this is gonna help, but I mean, I don't have any other ideas, so we might as well do it. So EB and E capital B. No, I didn't find it. Does the word tool even exist here? Appleseed. No, all right. Well, this is a waste of my time, right? I should be able to find it when I do capital S. That should show up, right? Yeah. But this is not any of the ones that I wrote. Nope. Okay, well, I have proven nothing. Let's write down the quick notes from this stuff. Bin utils, brew install bin utils, and then run via this. This didn't help though. I have one other idea, and this is actually a pretty clever idea, which is that we like blow out the size of this tool. So we make it like a gigabyte, and then we just look at the size of the output. And if we have a gigabyte, then we know that it used the tool. All right, let's go try that because I don't have any other ideas. All right, so this is currently 185.2 megabytes. So baseline size of what, the binary? Let's just do it to the whole app because it shouldn't. Well, I don't know. Maybe the binary and the thing. So three. Well, let's get them both then. Contents Mac OS. So this is 185.2. 185.2. And then the entire app is 384.6. All right. This is the baseline. Now we do something very stupid. We copy this and paste it a lot of times. All right. How much is that? Let's go find out. It is 500,000 characters. So that should be probably at 4 bytes per character, like 2 megabytes. So yeah, let's just try that for now. Let's go build this. This should exist. This is our like our control. We know this should exist. So it should expand the size of the binary. And then what I'm going to do is delete the reference from the first CS project file, and then I'm hoping it doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, that remains to be seen. All right, this will finish pretty soon. I gotta wait for this to be done. Okay, so now it's done. So now we unzip this. App size should already be notably bigger. 388.6. Yes, good. So after making a huge string, app 388.6. And then the binary is the same size. So it's not in the binary. Wouldn't that mean it's in the PCK file? Oh, or it just compresses incredibly well because I just copy pasted text. No, that doesn't make any sense. Then where would the extra size of the app be coming from? So something here has to be bigger. Do we have some huge file in here? I don't know. Just sort by size. Nope, these are the same. Wait, I can't just say they're the same by looking at these. No, one of these is different because there are 3 1 megabyte files over here. Only 2 1 megabyte files over here. So something probably went up in file size. Is there an easier way to compare these? I guess, yeah, we just have to look at the biggest ones, right? 3, 2.8, 2.4, 2.1, 2.1, 1.9, 1.8, 7. Okay, so a 1.6 disappeared. siabt.dll. In the same folder, though. It's smaller in the old build. Yeah. So this DLL got bigger. Okay, so maybe we can inspect the DLL. Can you dump strings from a DLL? Can I do this? Does that even make sense? Oh my god, it's perfect. So we have the word oh my god, there it is. Look at that. We figured something out. Oh man, this is cool. I feel like a detective. Wow. Well, that was a smart idea too. Gotta pat myself on the back for that one. That's what I meant. The okay, I see. Okay, yeah. So then we got to run like this, but on the DLL that we get. So let's copy this here. This shows strings from your code. All right. All right. So now we got to go test without the reference to that, and then just export, and everything should be fine. So all we need to do is change this. Delete, 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 and then export. I'm excited. I hope this does what I wanted to do. Because otherwise, this is going to be annoying. Where did that go? Over here. Okay. Now we just wait for this to finish. Oh, did it break? Failed to build project. Check build panel for details. Oh, man. I think I accidentally clicked the checkbox there. Did I check this when it wasn't previously checked? Wouldn't it have modified my presets? Yes, it does. Yes, I did accidentally check that. I guess we could have just checked the VOD too. It says it, I'll put it something here. What is this? Failed to build, check build panel for details. Build panel, typer namespace could not be found. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. My bad. So this using here goes away. This goes away. And then we try exporting. All right. So now it should export just fine. It'll probably take another 10 seconds. Then we just run that same command. Man. I feel like I'm actually like solving problems here. Although all of this is just because of the editor that I use now. If I run VS Code still, I wouldn't be doing any of this. All right, so now what do? We go into this, unzip this, and then just run our same command. And search for the word tool. It's still there. So that means that as long as you have both projects in the solution file, that you will get all of this in the output. But now when we run this application, it's day 34 and you're doing localization. I wanted to set up the foundation for it because it was frustrating to do for Skeleseller. And I wanted to fix one of the mistakes I made in Skeleseller, which was using English as the base language. But hey, Freak Technic. All right, contents, Mac OS. So here's just the proof that I did this correctly. If I run this and it doesn't print anything at the beginning other than the Godot lines. So it shouldn't say something about this is running from the other tool. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So we know the string ended up in the binary. Hey, none. Late to the party. Shouldn't .NET assemblies fix your issue? I'm not sure. I think there are a couple different ways we could do this. You can always have multiple solutions, one for Godot, one for developing. Yeah. So that's one of the solutions we could do. And honestly, it'd be pretty easy, right? Like our solution is either just one line or 2 lines. So yeah. I think that's probably what we'll end up doing. Yeah, doing it early does save a lot of pain. Also, like I said, there was a difference in how I wanted to do this for this game. In Skeleseller, English was considered the source language. So if you go to any of the strings in here, yeah, I think it should say everything is read only. And the problem with this is this string, for example, change your party members or location. We might say like edit your party or location. By doing this, we would lose every single one of these strings and we'd lose every page that's here. So like if there were comments, we'd lose that. If there's a screenshot, we'd lose that. Well, the screenshot would still be there, but the link to the screenshot would not be there anymore. And that was so tedious. So now for the new game, what we're going to do is we're just going to use just identifiers, just language agnostic identifiers. They'll be in English. But yeah, using message IDs, yeah. So in a lot of cases, it's going to be something like, you know, attack fireball or something, or title screen new game. And then yeah, English it'll say new game. And if we decide later, you know what, we want to change that to create game, it doesn't do anything bad. We keep all of our history, we keep everything. The only problem is if we need to change the ID. So this is like what CSS eventually runs into an issue, right? You have like header, nav bar, big text or something like that, and you're like, well, it's not in the header anymore, it's not in the nav bar anymore, it's not even big anymore, so all the words are wrong. Yeah, yeah, so that's the big change, and that on its own is really easy to do. We already figured all that out. The problem was I have this dialogue that I've been writing in this file. This is a yarn file, and here you can see a speaker and then some text. So we want to be able to translate this as well. So you can assign line identifiers, but then there are a bunch of small issues here. It generates CSV files, which Weblate expects PO files. So we have a converter tool. And again, you can already see we're like 3 problems down. Well, now the new problem is Rider doesn't let me edit the converter unless I add it to the solution. But by doing so, players end up with the tool. And it's just a waste of space for players. Players don't need to run this. So I don't care about, you know, it's not a security issue or anything. It's just like, well, players end up with what, 2 more megabytes worth of a bunch of tools we create. So there's the solution for this. I think we're going to do is make like a stuck and broken tutorial solution and then .dev solution. Weblate supports CSVs. They don't support monolingual get text or like, actually, hang on a second. Maybe they call it something else. Monolingual. No, they don't call it something else. I looked at, where do they do this? They have a documentation page where I have it written over here. I'll just go find it. Yeah, there it is. So this feature for monolingual, like, you know, identifiers, it just says file extensions have to be PO and POT. So the tool supports CSVs, but it doesn't support CSVs unless you are okay using, in my case, English as a base language, which is what I was trying to avoid. So we need to convert them to PO files. And yeah, there's just a lot of different parts of this. Oh man. Okay. So I guess we got to write this down at some point. This is also a pretty nice little tool to have in our tool bucket here. So let's write this down over here. Searching your exported build for particular strings. Okay, so I had a very particular scenario that I was trying to test, which is have my games solution file game.slnx point to both a game project and a tool project. Tool.csproj. I wanted to know whether the code from tool.csproj would end up on player machines, since it would bloat the build size. It turns out that it does, but how I verified it on macOS was by doing this. So brew install, I guess we just copy paste all this up here, right? Brew install bin utils, run this. This is like dot slash game slash out slash exported game dot app slash contents resources data your game. You know, just say your game here. That proved that strings in tool.csproj were indeed in the exported build. Nice architectural crust, yeah. Yeah, I think there are a lot of ways a WebLake can be improved. It's open source software, so technically I could go improve it. You know, it kind of makes me wonder, now that I think about it, what if I had said to AI, like, hey, go add in UI to do this and to do this and to like handle this thing? I don't want to do that for sure, but I wonder how good it would be at doing it. Also, out of curiosity, the very little that I've done so far today, how much did I use? 15%? Okay, not bad. And when does that reset? 255. Okay. I haven't come close to hitting the 5-hour limit. I haven't really been using a lot of AI, especially not on stream. All right, so we wrote all this stuff down. We figured this out. So we need to make a new SLNX file, and we need to update the README for devs to have them open that file. Well, you could technically open either one. Actually, you could open either one, but if you're going to modify tools, open the dev one. What is the other thing I wanted to figure out? Oh, I was just at the tip of my tongue. Right, can you put comments in an SLNX file? C# SLN file comments. Solution file comments. Can I put comments? Have you seen this thread asking the same question? Comments. Don't think there's an official definition. Depends on the parser. I guess you can't. But then again, that was for SLN files. Can SLNX files have them? I don't think so. That's fine. I'll put it in the README. I just wanted to know if you could have a comment. It's probably better to say like, look at the README in the comment, and then also just still put it in the README. Sometimes people end up making like a funky tool or something like this. Not a tool, but they'll make some like fake node comment equals and then put something in here. Look at the README. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. All right, wow. What a what a time. What a time. This tiny task ballooned. So I want to make another solution file. So we just copy paste this. Oh no, then we're gonna need to change the settings too, right? No, I guess the settings should only apply to the dev file. So you should have to open the dev file. And what's in the settings? Oh wow, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, yeah, you should have to open the dev file then. Okie dokie. Let's go try it out. So this is .dev.slnx. If I play this, can you hear this? Yeah, you can. Okay. I should probably turn that off because I was afraid the cat would jump on the piano and then deafen everybody. There we go. I was listening to a sonata yesterday that was particularly beautiful, and the sheet music was already on the screen, so I wasn't playing along. It's very nice. All right, so we got to rename this probably to like .dev.sln. I don't know if this is going to cause any problems. It probably will. Yeah, and then we go modify the README. Oh, let's just close everything. Running the game, clone this repo, open Godot mono, click import, navigate to the project. Developing the game. So 2 SLNX files. Well, just 2. I shouldn't say multiple. There's an ad that's going to run. I'm just going to let it run. I want to spend maybe another only half hour on this and then go get lunch and then maybe try to come back a little bit sooner and continue to work on this. We've been making just solid progress in the last couple of days. And I think this is just a difficult task. And if I wanted to cut corners, I could. We could probably have already had this stuff done by now, but I'm doing it very methodically and thoroughly. So we have 2 SLX files, the italicized, siabt.slx. This is for Godot to build the game. And then we have a dev. This is for developers to open in Rider. I have open the SLNX file. Everything should just work. So that we can modify both game and tooling code at once without having to open separate CS proj files. In general, siabt.slnx should probably never be touched or updated. Godot should only ever need to know about the game project. All right. Done with that. Done with that. Now, we close this and we open up the new one. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is the new project. Okay, so all of Rider is closed now? Yes. And now we open this. Trust and open. All right, so now here's the real test. If I go to program.cs and I delete all this nonsense, can I press F12 on this? It's yellow, so yes, I can. Great. And then if I go to main.cs, that's not good. Why is this gray? Well, that can be gray because I guess it's only reference from another scene. Maybe farm player, though. Yeah, farm player looks fine. Okay, looks like everything's working. Wow. Wow. This is all just for localization. I wonder how annoying this is going to be for whatever game I make next. Part of the tasks I want to look into, if we have time in the next 7 days, would be to make a shared library that I could use for future games. It's just a weird cost to pay because it's not actually beneficial until you make the future game. And then once you do, there's potentially a lot of benefit in time saving and in bug backporting. Okay, well, let's go try exporting this again. Don't I need there to be that string at the beginning still? Yeah, let's put that back in. Okay, so final test. We export this project one more time. And when I last did this, I ran, where is it? I ran that bin utils thing. I don't know where that went. All right, well, whatever. It was, I'll just search for it. Oh, what? It's not even here? What? That's
Whoops.
weird. Huh. There it is. Okay, this is what I wanted to run. And then we just scroll up until we see the whole tool thing showing over and over. Wait, it's not in here. What am I doing? Is this the binary? No, it's the DLL. This is correct. What, why? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if I re-exported. All right, let's delete that. Let's open this. And let's go search for that. Yeah, it doesn't exist. So I think we're good now. If I, yeah, I think we're good. I could finish the test by exporting the dev project. I don't know how we do we just do .dev here? Would that work? Can I play it? Let's try that first. No, that fails. Make sure the script exists. It contains a class definition with a name that matches the file name of the script exactly. It doesn't like that. Maybe you have to, maybe it thinks that that's the file name, like putting a dot in there messes it up. Nope. Multiple solutions containing a project with assembly name SIABT were found. Please ensure only one solution contains the project assembly. If you recently migrated SLNX. Okay, so this is bad what I'm doing. Yeah, this is bad. We should just call it like dev.slnx, not siabt.dev. Oh man. Or I guess just don't put a dot in the name. That'd probably also work. Yeah, just close solution. Or underscore dev. Yeah, that's probably good. So then this probably needs to be renamed too. Then we close out of that. Remove, open. Do we have, is there like a concept of favoriting? I forgot if we could do that. No. Whoops. All right, so open this. I'm going to create even more files. This is underscore dev. Do not open this one. All right. So if I try building this now, it works. And if I try changing this to underscore dev, it should work. No, it doesn't. What? No, that's not the file name. Oh, man. Multiple solutions containing a project with assembly name SIABT were found. So you can't even do this? Or I guess you have to put it in a different folder. Yeah, so it's searching all solutions to figure out which one contains this. Yuck. Hi, cat. Yeah, yuck. I don't like this. Oh, I really don't like this. Yeah, come on over. You want to sit down? Hey, real cool cat. Abby thinks I'm talking to her. She doesn't know what chat is. Feels like it's break reset. Well, I'm just coming to grips with having to put this in a different folder. It's not the end of the world. I think it's gonna mess with all the rider settings I have too. I'm trying to think if there's a better way we can do this. I don't know. All right, here's what we're gonna do. And this is gonna mess everything up. We're gonna make an SLNX folder and we're gonna say Godot and dev. Then we're gonna move this. Let's just open that same thing over here. I'd just rather drag and drop. Let's move this one to Godot. This and this to dev. That's gonna again break everything that I have over here. So now I gotta close this again. And now open the dev version of this. Solution loaded with 2 errors. Oh, right, because the paths are wrong. Yeah, that's easy. That's super easy to fix. So this is ... Everything should just work there. So now if I open up like main.cs, it thinks this doesn't need to be partial, but it definitely does. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, it probably needs to rebuild caches. Okay, so then we also open up the other one here, and we do the same thing. Oh, wow. That's not supposed to be there. How fun. Okay, great. And then we go change this. So this is solution directory is ... slash slnx slash Godot. Yeah. Does that work? Can I play this? Oh, thank goodness. And there's sound, right? Yes. Okay. Let's export this. I want to probably wrap up after doing this set of things here because I need to eat. Yeah, what a morning. Just randomly estimating, not randomly, just estimating off the top of my head though, just ballpark estimate. I think we probably have another day and a half of this stuff left to do, which is a little unfortunate. I don't want to spend that long on this. This is important. It's one of those things you can't ship without. Got to localize your game. Well, you don't have to, but it's a really good idea. No such file. Oh, right, because the paths would have changed, right? Wait, no, not because of that. Different thing. Okay, so word tool does not show up here. But if I go build the dev version, so he changes to dev. Now I build this. Good. Now we export. Delete the old one. Then just wait for this to finish. We should see that gigantic tool string show up. Is it done? Yes. Double click. Run this again. Search for tool. It doesn't show up. So my test wasn't even testing anything. Maybe it doesn't show up because it doesn't exist in the... I'm never using it. That's probably why. Oh my God. So if I open up program... Yeah, nothing's trying to print this now. Maybe if this were trying to print it. It's probably destroying the encoder right now. So that everything's blurry. Yeah, if I just do a console.writeLine testeroni.foo. Yeah, there's probably some like, hey, you're not using the string, so why put it into the binary? Which is pretty good. Normally that is what you want. All right, we're going to export again. We're just going to keep doing this until it finally proves what I need to prove. I think it's worth delineating what is an academic pursuit versus what is a practical pursuit. I think this is at the borderline of the two. I think I've already proven what I need to prove at this point. But I want to see it. And I don't think it's necessary for me to see it. I think I should just move on and go eat my lunch. No, it's still not showing up. Okay, something's amiss. Do we have another DLL that I'm just not seeing? Something's wrong. Is it not building this? Or do I need to reload the project or something? I'm missing something here. Let me look at my project settings again. Is this using the correct thing? Yeah, maybe I modified it so that it doesn't have the right contents anymore. No, it definitely does. It's got this project in it. This project has this gigantic string, and then we try using this gigantic string from here. I didn't need a reference between the two projects for this to have made it into the binary before. But now it's not showing up. What is the difference? Well, I reloaded the project. Let's try that. I don't have any other ideas. Yeah, I don't have any other ideas. What a shame. Why is there a Postgres folder? All right, did this finish producing this? Yeah. Show contents, resources, this. It's still 562 kilobytes. So it's definitely not in there. What am I missing? Maybe it's not building this project? Like I need to build it? Yeah, now it definitely built it. Yeah, maybe. Wait, no, that wouldn't make any sense though, right? It just knows the solution. It should build everything. Yeah, all signs are pointing to needing to take a break and probably just never come back to this. I could probably also just be looking at the total size of this and not need to go into the DLL. Yeah, it's still 562. So building it didn't matter. I wonder if we try running this. Yeah. We go over to here. We do this. Oh, what's going on? And I just don't run it with any out or any arguments. And it should give us the usage thing, which should spam. Yeah. does spam that gigantic message. So it's definitely in the binary. Oh man, I'm so confused. What did I do differently? The only thing I can think is that this isn't building the dev version still. Even though I'm pointing this at dev. And if I point it at something like dev 2, which doesn't exist, it should probably just fail when I go to build it, right? It doesn't. Okay, well then that's my issue. I don't know what this is doing. So yeah. Uh Project Akado. We have something in here. Assembly name SIBT. How is it find it's like it's not looking in the right directory for it. SLNX dev. It's still finding this one probably. We could verify that it's still finding that one by changing. Can't find this like this. There we go. Paste this here. File does not belong to the project? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. All right. Now we try building. So somehow Godot is still finding the wrong thing. Well, actually, it's finding the correct thing, but it doesn't know that it's the correct thing. So this could change somehow in the future. And that's the part I've got to try to figure out. This finished building? I think it's just frozen. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, now it's done. All right, so I expect this to be a much larger binary than 562 kilobytes. Because now it's actually building the correct thing here. No, it's still the same. All right, I have no idea. Hey, Tiger. We've been working on some localization code and setup, and I'm currently baffled at what's happening. Maybe it's in here and I don't know, this is still super long. Looks like a lot is going on. It definitely is. I am so baffled as to what's happening here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Huh. So strange. Yeah, so strange. It's not baking this in even when it should be. Like, okay, let's say I just delete stuff from here. In fact, let's just put a syntax error, AA project. Let's try that. This should fail to build. It doesn't fail. What is this using? Oh, it must have made a solution file. Oh my God. Oh, I had this happen a while ago. Yeah, there's probably a solution file in here somewhere that it created when it couldn't find anything else. I actually don't see one here. What is it using to build then? How could it do anything? Find dot dash name star.slnx. There should be 2 of these. There should be 0 of these. There are 0 of these. Okay, I am lost. Let's just replace this entire folder with a bunch of A's. Is it still able to build? What is it building? Is this getting updated every time? Yeah, it is. So what does all this say? Oh, it's just building the CS prod file. That's it. It's not even looking for a solution. Wow. No, that doesn't really make sense, does it? Wow, interesting. So this is inside the game folder. Wow. So I bet something would start to mess up if I did add a script. So if we take some random thing over here and I attach a script and I just type like delete me, it's probably going to mess everything up, right? Yeah, I bet that just made a new solution and possibly even made a new folder, right? Maybe I would have needed to reload this though first. I didn't reload it. Oh, whoops, this is the wrong project. Oh man, no wonder there's Japanese text here. Uh, yeah, whoops. All right, let's close Skeleseller. Don't want to make that mistake again. And delete me can be actually deleted. So I want to try it over here. I want to just do whatever, attach a script, delete me, create. How did it do this? Oh, good. There's just some random error dialog that's empty. Close that, I guess. Is this set to something correct? It is, but this folder doesn't exist. Maybe that's where reloading the project comes in. So now it should say something about can't find the solution file, right? Cannot find part of the path. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. I think I understand. Yeah, I think I understand. So now let's go fix this. Back to what it should be. This is correct. Reload the project. Building should be fine. No, it's not fine for once. Did something get messed up in here? Volume. No, what? Is this because of delete me existing? I mean, it might be. Not sure. Hey, TCAP, how you doing? Welcome in, Raiders. Howdy. Thank you for the raid. We are actually pretty close to lunch right now, unfortunately. But I've been working on some foundation for localizing this new game using what I learned from Skeleseller, and I'm just mired in problems that will hopefully get fixed at some point in the next like 2 hours. How'd the stream go? How's everything going? Hey, Dev versus Code. What are you struggling with today? So there's more localization stuff. This time around, it was I made a converter tool, and I wanted to be able to edit it from my like main Rider solution, well, C# solution in Rider. The problem is adding the tool project means that players get that code. And the only real problem is this is just bloat. Yeah. So I needed to make 2 solution files, a dev one with both projects and a prod one with just the game. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the extent of all this. Did some UI work. Nice. Are you close to launching at all? And yeah, now I'm at this point where I just random things are failing and I'm not sure what's failing. I guess let's just try it again. Wait, shots fired with the are you close to launching? That wasn't a leading question. It was truly just out of inquisitiveness. Did it reload this? Does it build? Why is this happening? It loads this. I don't even have any changes here. Namespace does not correspond to file locations. Must be SIABT. Can we just assume that that's the case? I don't think we can. Wait, there's nothing even. Oh, it changed this. It changed a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I think I know what happened here. So I want to revert everything. And now everything should just be fine. We can revert that too. So the whole file is back to what it was. Now can we build? Now with my consistency? What do you find yourself? Is it consistency in actually working on it or just consistency in making progress? Like, are you doing work, but then you're like, oh, I'd rather work on this fun thing? All right, nice. We're doing it. Hey, Q. Can't you just do item group condition configuration equals debug with the project reference to the DevTool project? Maybe I could, yeah. I think that's probably worth a shot. Split the solution files or find some other way to conditionally include projects. So with this, we have project. We would need to do project condition, C# SLNX project tag with condition. It might not be a thing that you can do. How do we even find this? Where's the documentation for this? Links to this shared serializers. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I want to see if there's a samples. Ugh. Yeah, I'd love to have like one place to look at this. That's what I meant, but it's for CS Proj. I don't know about SLNX. Yeah, I don't know if you can. I don't even know where the documentation is on this. I mean, I guess this is a good question to just ask over here. Like, yeah. I have an SLNX file or a C# game that looks like this. Game tool. Is there a way to conditionally include the tool project based on what using a debug configuration? I don't want end users to get that tool. Yeah, this is like the perfect question for AI because it's just, is there a condition that you can put in a solution file? We've already solved the problem, by the way. So even if this turned up with nothing or it was inconclusive, it's totally fine. We can just have two solution files. I don't think there's ever going to be a problem there. I think the important thing to know, though, is Godot is just loading the CS proj file directly. Write a note that Godot is just loading a .csproj file directly. This should go in the writer notes, and I should include why I did any of this in the first place, which was so that I could easily edit the tool project without users getting the code for it. All right, what do we have? Short answer, not as a true conditional include. It's effectively static. This kind of thing is not the right model. It's MS build style logic. What you can do, keep it in the solution, but mark it as not built in release via Visual Studio's configuration manager. Better use two solutions. Yeah, I have two solutions. I'll just use two solutions then. I don't think it was a bad idea. It's not worth struggling with if I already have something that works. So what do we need to do now? Just export and make sure that we don't get the other. I did this a bunch of times. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. Hey, Magnus. Yeah. I think we're pretty solid then. Man, what a day. Survived a physics exam. Nice. Do you think you did well? Hey, Shade 11. So this is what we were trying to do. So yeah, I think we can just resume this stuff in the afternoon after I come back from lunch. Anything else that's here? For those wondering, what game am I even making? Let me show really quickly. Oh yeah, we got to figure this stuff out. We got like 4 get ignores, 4 index layouts. I need to find out what is actually needed from those. 18 out of 30. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, it's running the wrong thing. Oh no, it doesn't have my configuration. I think, oh man, this is what's annoying. There's an idea folder here, and we have all this stuff. I don't have this anymore at all. And I think I want to just rename this folder so that it'll be _dev. I probably should not have been deleting that. Wow. That was stupid. And then we click this and reload the solution. That was probably stupid. That was probably really stupid. Now we load this up and cross our fingers that we have a play game button at the top. I think everything broke. Whoops. 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 Oh God, what's happening? Oh no, there it is. All right. Yeah, for whatever reason we don't have, oh wait, editor and player. Is it this? I don't know which one of these is correct. Let's just edit them. One uses -- editor and one doesn't. I don't know what the difference is. What does that do? And this is an argument to Godot. Yeah, what does that do? Godot for -- help editor. Start the editor instead of running the scene. No, I don't want that. I want player. Can I like make this the default? Yeah, whatever. Let's just click the play button. Okay. Like, because we're an engineering program, we don't really ever use physics. Yeah, I see. All right, so here's the game I'm working on. It's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. You start. It looks like a normal game. You learn some basic things. Press A in the air to double jump. Let me turn this down. Yeah, sure, Mr. D-Boy. Okay, so, yeah, pretty normal. You can speed your way through this. And you get here, and it is not pretty normal anymore. Try to collect the diamonds. You can't. You fall. Looks great. Thanks. Yeah, I did not do any of the artwork. But I came up with the idea. I composed the music. And I wrote a bunch of the code. So now you're in this like spooky realm. Creepy piano music's playing. You enter this door. Yeah, we have a lot ahead of us in terms of music. So yeah, this is, you were in your first game tutorial and you got out of it, and now you're in a like Stardew Valley-esque game where this guy's saying that your grandpa gave you a farm, and yeah, you can go dig up some grass over here, plant some seeds, you can water them. But yeah, so a lot of this game, it's a story-driven, single-player, kind of a comedy game. So a lot of things don't follow your expectations. Like if you try to use your axe on the tree, you actually throw it over the tree, and then you can now run. And if you try to get your axe back, it just floats away from you. So there's a lot of stuff where it's just like, whatever you expect should not be what you expect. You can dig through trees, you can dig through the fence. And so the whole point of this is just to eventually get you to go to bed, deplete your energy, fall asleep. Wake up, a bunch of time has passed. Hello, haven't seen you in ages. I see that you really like strawberries. Your whole farm is covered in them now. So you can harvest them now. You can go into town. You can talk to these characters. They got nothing to say. But talking to them spawns this guy. And he has a whole conversation with you, which I'm going to just skip through. And you solve this little fake puzzle. You get a key. You can go to the community center and unlock it. And then this is your exit to another game. So you enable this. I'll speed this up. Sidekick runs over there and enables his. And you can leave. And then this will put you in another game. So that's a general overview of the game. I went through in a very unfun way. But yeah, I think for the playtesters, I've done 5 playtest sessions so far. And in general, everyone has been intrigued by the concept and they like the general idea. And they had fun playing and they all pretty much laughed aloud at something in the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing other people play it who know nothing about this stuff. So yeah, when I get back from my lunch break, we're going to have to tackle checking this in. Yeah. Are you putting out a demo or a playtest? So the plan for now, like we got done with checkpoint 1 and it was just private playtests and it was just 5 people. For checkpoint 2, well, actually we're in between right now. We're in what I'm calling a stabilization mode. This will be until June 5th. Then checkpoint 2 will probably like be done by August 1st, hopefully. And then we'll do playtests again. I think these will still be private. So at some point there will be a demo. The demo will represent the first maybe like 10 minutes of the game. Because I don't think it's going to be a super long game. It took me something like 6 weeks to make what you just saw. And it's maybe 10 minutes of gameplay. So if it takes another 6 weeks for the next 10 minutes and another 6 weeks for the next 10 minutes, then it's going to take quite a long time to get a couple of hours of gameplay. To the point where a demo cannot give you too much of the game, or else people are going to be like, wow, that was a really short game. So yeah, I think what you just saw will pretty much be the demo. And instead of entering the portals, it'll probably say like, hey, you can't enter these. But once you can, by buying the game, here's what you could expect from the rest of it. So yeah. Hey, Robotics. What's good? Want to ask how you stay on task while keeping up with chat? A lot of it has to do with just anchoring myself with a to-do list. So at any given time, if I was like rambling for 10 minutes and I come back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I was splitting this up. And then I would go over to here and look at my changes and then just finish. So at any point, there's just got to be something that keeps me anchored to whatever my task was. And the to-do list is a good thing for that. Right now, it's lunchtime. So like I'm about to sign off. But I'm going to be back in about an hour and then I will continue where I left off. We've got localization stuff the rest of today. Maybe tomorrow we work on including Japanese into Skeleseller. So quite a lot of work. This is the entire list up until, I guess, here. So how many characters is that? 10,000? Yeah. So this generally means we got at least another day of work. And hopefully it goes a little bit faster. You can show a wish list again. Yeah, I was thinking either you enter the portal and it shows you a teaser of the next game, or all you see is the portals and you can't enter them and you're like, oh, I want to see what's through these. We need to end on something like a cliffhanger. The problem is the farming game isn't exactly fun. It's more for story. So I wonder if we should put you through a fun game next, and I don't know. Will there be a 3D broken game? Possibly. Yeah, it could happen. I don't want to commit to it necessarily. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to work on this. It's been fun to see the playtesters enjoy the game. I mean, there was some confusion too, but we've hopefully clarified some of it. So I am going to get going. I'll be back in about an hour. Hopefully I am well fed by that time. Maybe turn-based. I've got the next 3 sub-games planned, but there probably will be a turn-based game at some point. So thank you all for watching. If you'd like to join Discord, here's the link. I've got a couple actually. One's for Skeleseller, which I'm going to rebrand at some point. But yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Hope to see you again after lunch.